Chapter 41, The Chaos Record of the Moon and the Sun, Killing the Newlywed Husband. You are listening at novelfull.audio. System, check her attribute data and explore her personality. Qing was very interested in this female villain who dared to dig up the protagonist's bones. Name, Luoli. Realm, the peak of the 9th level of Xiandan. Physique, Phoenix bloodline, Supreme bone, Eternal divine Phoenix body, not awakened. Talent, born with a shortcut, it will shine through the past and present. Destiny destined villain. Fate, luck continues, and disasters are inevitable. Luck 200000. Character, vicious and vicious, he must retaliate, he is deep in the city. He has a strong desire for power, he holds the axe in his hand. Good guy, this character is worthy of being a villain. Qing's eyelids twitched. With Luoli's character, the next days will definitely not be peaceful. Luoli will definitely cause trouble in the Star Temple. System, how come she has more luck than Xiao Yi and Lin Chen and Lin Yang? 200,000 luck. If he hadn't known she was a villain, Qing would have thought she was the daughter of destiny. It's normal. Villains are born with great luck, but they just don't have the protagonist's aura of plundering luck. In the end, they will definitely not have as much luck as the protagonist. So that's it. Qing understood in his heart and continued to ask, is there any difference between the bloodline of the Phoenix and the body of the eternal divine Phoenix? The difference is huge. The Phoenix bloodline is at best comparable to the superior divine body, and the eternal divine Phoenix body is also called the immortal body. It is immortal and has nothing to do with the divine beast Phoenix. What's the meaning? She has an immortal origin that has endured all tribulations, and has begun to merge with the Phoenix bloodline. Once successful, she will become an immortal Phoenix body that can be reborn in Nirvana with a single thought. Awesome. Qing's heart was filled with turmoil. Immortality means that she cannot be killed, coupled with the two talents of natural shortcuts and Quangu Shuajin. Luoli is simply invincible, so the question is, how should Luoli's nemesis Yi Hao be dealt with? Does he have a more terrifying physique than Luoli? Thinking like this, Qing smiled at her, made an excuse, and left the goddess palace to go to the treasure house of the Star Temple. No matter how awesome your protagonist and villain are, Qing just wants to practice quietly and become stronger. His biggest dream in this life is to live forever and overlook the changes of the ages. Luoli Feng's eyes narrowed slightly, and countless calculations came to mind, and she bowed to Gardenia. Master, what's your physique, senior brother? Zhudiangxingchen divine body, your senior sister is Taiyin divine body. Ji Meng said softly, your senior brother's talent is unparalleled. If you don't understand anything in the future, you can ask your senior brother. Supreme divine body. Luo Lifeng's eyes were filled with shock. This is a legendary physique that has never been seen before. Yes, this is a golden age, with all kinds of legendary physiques emerging one after another. Gardenia sighed quietly. She thought of her stinky sister's beloved disciple. She was scolded by her stinky sister every day. Originally, she didn't care. She was just a slightly talented ant, so there was no need to care. She was confident that if she trained any disciple at will, she could suppress the bratty sister's disciple, but when she saw Lin Chuqing in person, she fell silent. Even if she devoted all her efforts to cultivating Su Qingyue, she was definitely no match for Lin Chuqing. Then I thought about taking on another apprentice. Although she also had no hope that Luoli could defeat Lin Chuqing, but that doesn't mean the two are any less qualified. The two of them have a bright future and have the potential to become gods and ascend to heaven. She has many disciples, but the stinky sister only has one disciple, so her loss is not too ugly. Fortunately, Gardenia didn't know that Luoli had an unawakened eternal divine phoenix body, otherwise she would not have thought so. With this in mind, Gardenia asked, how is the fusion of your supreme bone? Master, I don't want to fuse the supreme bone. Luoli said in a deep voice. Why? Ji Meng was stunned. She accepted Luoli as her disciple because she took a fancy to her phoenix bloodline and supreme bone. The two were in harmony and complemented each other. The phoenix bloodline can perfectly warm and nourish the supreme bone, turning it into one's own. It can even warm and nourish the power of powerful laws. Su Qingyue looked at Luoli with the same confusion. if you don't want to fuse, then why bother digging out people's bones? You must know that the supreme bone is the most promising existence to advance to the supreme divine body. With the help of the supreme bone, he sacrificed his flesh, blood and bones to become the supreme treasure body, giving birth to the innate laws and patterns. I want to refine it for my own use. I am invincible, why should I borrow someone else's bones? Luo Lifeng's eyes were firm and her aura was majestic and divine, like a peerless emperor. There was no hint that she was a teenage girl. It's good to have confidence, but you also have to know yourself. Ji Meng spoke coldly, dismissing Luo Li's words. With her eyesight, she could tell at a glance that Luo Li couldn't even defeat Su Qingyue, so she was still invincible. Laughing to death. Master, although I am mediocre now, if I am not absolutely sure, how can I dare to joke about my future? Luo Li's ambition was great, and after breaking through to the 9th level of the mysterious pill, he discovered that he had an unawakened peerless physique, which contained innate and immortal divinity. Once awakened, it will definitely be no worse than the supreme divine body, so she will naturally look down on the supreme bone, but she didn't dare to tell this kind of secret, for fear that Gardenia would take away her essence. After all, her supreme bone was dug out of her fiancé, and she used herself to save others. Luo Li was worried that she would end up with the same fate as her fiancé. What do you want? Seeing Luo Li's firmness, Gardenia frowned and asked. My disciple wants a refining method, please ask the master to make it happen. Luo Li bowed. Gardenia hesitated for a moment and then agreed. Although she is not optimistic about Luo Li, this is Luo Li's own decision and she will not interfere too much. Thank you, master. Luo Li was overjoyed. With this refining method, she can perfectly refine the supreme bone for her own use, awaken the peerless divine body, and even merge with her own phoenix bloodline. Well, let's go down. Yes, master. Luo Li and Su Qingyue exited the hall. Sister, please give me more light in the future. What are you talking about, junior sister? My cultivation level is not as good as yours. Su Qingyue smiled. Seeing this, Luo Li felt better. Silly senior sister Baitian is nothing to be afraid of. When she awakens her peerless divine body, she begins planning to become a saint, and Gu Qing, the Zhou Tianqing divine body, is the treasure of the Star Temple. It is difficult to target, so it is best to keep it for your own use. Luo Li has absolute confidence in her charm, and she doesn't believe that Gu Qing will fall under her pomegranate skirt. On the other side, Gu Qing handed over the Sun Tao Sutra to an old man guarding the treasure house. Elder Gu, this disciple wants a star fruit. Don't talk about a star fruit. Just take whatever you like. Gu Daoi stroked his gray beard, looking peaceful and charitable. Looking at Gu Qing, the more he looked, the more satisfied he became. Gu Qing has such an honor not only because of the supreme divine body, but also because Gu Qing's supreme divine body is the Zhoutian star divine body. This is the same physique as the founder of their sect, so they naturally have to work hard to cultivate it, hoping to cultivate a little ancestor. If it were any other supreme divine body, it would definitely not be possible to take the treasures of the Star Temple at will. Even the ancestor of the divine fire realm cannot take whatever he wants. Thank you, elder. Gu Qing looked happy, said thanks, and stepped into the treasure house. The treasure house is a sacred weapon, and it has a spirit. Whatever you want, say it silently, and the treasure you want will automatically appear in front of you. Gu Qing opened one of the 30 jade boxes, and divine light burst out, filling the air with the charm of stars. I saw only one fruit, like a small star universe, dotted with starlight, vast and deep, not like a fruit at all. I want 9. He and I shouted in shock when he saw 30 star fruits. One is just a temporary measure. If there are more, her clever cave will be opened up more perfectly. Gu Qing hesitated for a moment, then nodded, gave her 9, and took 4 more for himself. I want the 3 lights divine water. As soon as he finished speaking, Gu Qing appeared in another place, with thousands of jade bottles floating in front of his eyes. Each jade bottle contains 100 drops of the 3 lights divine water. You must know that the 3 light divine water is a sacred medicinal object that can reshape the physical body. Every drop is priceless. However, the Star Temple has accumulated thousands of bottles, and its background is evident. Get me 9 bottles. Good. Gu Qing hesitated and only took 9 bottles. He thought that if he used the golden gourd to smelt the starlight divine water, it should be no worse than the 3 light divine water from the star temple. I'll try it another day. If it's not as good as the 3 light divine water from the star temple, it won't be too late to get it again. Obviously, Gu Qing was a little embarrassed to take too many treasures from the star temple. After all, it wasn't brought by the strong wind, they were all collected by the seniors of the star temple with great pains. Don't be too greedy if you don't have to. Go get some more divine iron. He said excitedly. Magic iron. Gu Qing instantly appeared in front of a planet. This planet is very similar to the star fruit, except it is much larger, with 9 directions, like a planet, but also like a small universe that encompasses everything in the universe. It exudes the divine light of the stars and is filled with Taoist charm. Get the complete Iron Mother of Stars quickly and sacrifice it to become your ultimate treasure. Although I also wanted it very much, she had clear grudges and knew that the Iron Mother of Stars was very important to Gu Qing. Hearing this, Gu Qing's heart skipped a beat. Although the sacred iron for sacrificing artifacts is good, it is laborious and laborious. Just one sacrificial artifact is enough. Too many sacrificial artifacts will seriously delay his breakthrough. Moreover, Gu Qing prefers prostitution for free rather than refining it himself. Maybe I can get the artifact from my adoptive father in the future. Gu Qing accepted the Iron Mother of Stars and silently recited the flying magic weapon. Suddenly he appeared in another place, with all kinds of chariots and flying boats floating in front of him, emitting brilliant and dazzling light. Help me find out which flying boat is the best. Gu Qing asked via voice transmission. What type of airship do you want? Small airships are the fastest, medium and large airships are more powerful and consume more energy. Asked. The small spaceship has a retreat room and can it fly automatically? Gu Qing asked. Okay, these are the basic functions of the flying boat. It seems that you want a small flying boat. Then choose that void ship. The void flying boat is the highest level among all the flying boats here, and it is a sacred weapon. There are defensive formations, spirit gathering formations, hiding formations, trapping formations, etc. As long as there is enough energy, it can kill the King realm, and the Supreme realm cannot catch up. Let's go and see the flesh and blood of high-level monsters. Good. Finally, Gu Qing took 2 corpses of saint-level monsters. Fortunately, these 2 monsters were put into the space treasure box, otherwise the ray of breath that escaped would have killed Gu Qing. Back in his own cave, Gu Qing took out the golden gourd, filled it with the smelted divine iron liquid, and then began to smelt the 2 Saint Realm monsters. It was like a vast ocean when it was poured out. The Saint Realm monsters were really too huge, and I don't know how many hundreds of miles long they were. Gu Qing was really enlightened. You want to give me the Star Iron Mother? Looking at the Star Iron Mother that suddenly appeared in front of her, I was a little skeptical about life. Others are fine, after all, the Star Temple has stocks, and Gu Qing can't use them all, but there is only one Star Iron Mother. This is the divine iron that can be used to refine the life magic weapon. Well, take it, just as a little thought from you for giving me the heavenly god halberd. Gu Qing said. Hearing this, I looked at Gu Qing deeply, accepted it happily, and said, wait until I come out of retreat, I will give you a big surprise. Okay. Gu Qing responded, closed the Xuanhuan sword, and then drank a small sip of the divine iron liquid. It can't be said that it tastes very good, it can only be said that it is bland. Moreover, the divine iron liquid is as gentle as mercury, and there is no reaction in the body. Gu Qing tried to operate the Chaos Aquarius seal, refine himself, and melt the divine iron liquid into the 3000 acupoints cave heaven. I saw drops of liquid merge with the acupoints, and then gave birth to the amazing sword energy. It works. Gu Qing was overjoyed. The cave heaven merged with the divine iron liquid, which is equivalent to a placenta, which can give birth to a divine sword. This is much more powerful than melting it directly into a sword. After all, if it is melted into a sword, it must be fed with divine iron continuously, and by melting the placenta, he can use spiritual energy to nourish the divine sword continuously. Thinking of this, Gu Qing swallowed it in one breath, and soon melted the 3000 acupoints cave heaven into a fetal membrane. In the future, He only needs to use spiritual energy to nourish the divine sword. Host, your Chaos Aquarius seal is very powerful and is a supreme magical secret method. You must comprehend it well, and it will definitely benefit you endlessly. The system reminded. Qing hummed and blocked his adoptive father. He went straight to the sutra library, which he had been thinking about, and began to enter a state of not paying attention to the outside world and only reading the books of sages. Time flies, and the years pass by like a shuttle. In the first month, Qing read more than 10,000 Tiandi Xuanhuan exercises and laid a solid foundation. In the second month, Qing read 100 King level, Venerable level, and Saint level exercises. In the third month, Qing read the experience of cultivation. In the fourth month, Qing read many magical secrets, deduced while reading, and derived magical imprints in his body. Qing was like a sponge, absorbing knowledge crazily. Learning makes me happy. Qing seemed to have entered an endless ocean of joy. In the fifth month, Qing returned to the cave to retreat, integrate the skills, and the mysterious chaos rhyme emerged from his body. A year later, Qing successfully integrated the Chaos Immortal Sutra. Although his realm did not break through, he was several times stronger than before. He further improved the Chaos Immortal Sutra and had a deeper understanding of Taoism. I am going to retreat to break through the realm. When are you going to cross the thunder tribulation? That there will be thunder tribulation after reshaping the body, and crossing the thunder tribulation is the real rebirth. You retreat, I'm not in a hurry. Hini's ethereal voice revealed a sense of joy. Obviously, her innate holy body Tao fetus has been perfected, and the 3,000 acupoints and caves have been perfectly opened up, and a peerless magic sword has been bred. You can cross the thunder tribulation at any time to welcome the rebirth. If you don't cross the tribulation, you can still practice, and the effect is better. That's fine. Qing quickly went to the treasure house, received a king-level monster, and smelted it into treasure liquid. Although Chu Yao gave a lot of monsters, they did not include king-level monsters. There are very few people in the refining god realm. There is nothing we can do about it. Even a drop of blood from a demon beast at the king realm level is a treasure, and is usually auctioned. Qing poured out the treasure liquid, and the water flooded the top of the mountain, with rich vitality steaming in colorful light. He still had more than half of it to pour out. If I refine all of this, it should be enough for me to break through to the peak of the refining god realm and evolve the chaos star body to 100%. I don't know if I will awaken my innate magical power. Thinking of this, Qing adjusted his mentality and circulated the Chaos Immortal Sutra. In an instant, the Xiandan directly turned into the Yuanshan. The Yuanshan is exactly the same as Qing, but it is proportionally reduced. The Yuanshan flew into the nine-colored soul lotus, absorbed the innate energy of the nine-colored soul lotus, cleansed the soul, and strengthened the soul. The first level of the refining god realm, the second level of the refining god realm, the fifth level of the refining god realm. While the realm was rapidly breaking through, Qing's body was undergoing a shocking transformation. At such a young age, he has such a character, which is great. I am afraid that he will get lost in the boundless honor and cannot stand the loneliness of cultivation. Meng, has he walked out of his own path and wants to melt all laws to prove the Tao? That the old monster lying in the coffin asked Meng excitedly. At this time, Qing's aura was too mysterious. He was always in a state of unity between man and nature. Every move could change the magnetic field of heaven and earth. It seemed that he was the center of the world, and the laws of heaven and earth followed him. There was also a sense of transcendence, as if he did not belong to the creatures here, but was a high and mighty innate God. That's right, he has a heaven-defying understanding, a heart as solid as a rock, and a pure heart for seeking the Tao. The most noteworthy thing about him is the Zhoutian star divine body. Meng thought of the scene of debating Taoism and magical powers with Qing, and her red lips hooked. Ancestor, I will let him go to your place to listen to the sound of the Tao some other day. Okay, you still have some conscience. He has talent, perseverance, and great luck. I really don't know how far he will go in the future. Don't talk nonsense. It's not a good idea to work behind closed doors all day long. Talking about war on paper is shallow. You must practice it yourself. The strong grow up in blood and fire. Let's make him the Holy Son and let him go out to compete with those divine bodies. The position of the Holy Son is not worthy of him. I think the Son of God is not bad. After these words came out, all the old monsters were silent, their eyes fell on Ji Meng. The most noble status in the Star Temple is not the Holy Son or the Holy Daughter, nor the Temple Master, it's the Son of God and the Goddess. Since ancient times, every Son of God and the Goddess of the Star Temple has become a god and ascended to the fairyland, becoming a giant in the fairyland. In addition, the Son of God and the Goddess must practice dual cultivation. The Star Temple has a Taiying Chaos record. This is the highest inherited magic skill of the Star Temple, which can cultivate the acquired yin and yang chaos body. Ji Meng and Gu Qing are master and apprentice. Although there is no rule in the Star Temple that master and apprentice cannot become husband and wife, the age and strength gap between the two is too big. Of course, the Star Temple has no rule that the Son of God and the Daughter of God must practice together. It's just that the Sons of God and the Daughter of God in the past all chose to practice together for the sake of the Supreme Tao. They participated in the Taiyang Chaos record together. This is also the reason why they are so powerful and ascended to the fairyland without any surprise. Speaking of which, in Ji Meng's era, they had a Son of God, who was a pure young Taoist body and had a demonic talent. Moreover, the two were childhood sweethearts, and they had a deep relationship. They were a perfect match for Ji Meng, but I don't know what Ji Meng thought. On the day they drank the wedding wine, Ji Meng killed her newlywed husband. Chapter 42, Sweating Like a Bastard, Goddess. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay, Ji Meng chuckled, as if she didn't understand the hidden meaning of these old monsters' words, and people couldn't tell whether he was happy or angry at all. Ahem. What I said just now was a little ill-considered. The Holy Son is good, what do you think? That's right. Young people shouldn't stand too high all of a sudden, and they need more training. If the pure Yang Dao body dies, it's dead. It doesn't matter to the Star Temple. At most, they can train another one in the future. They don't lack strong people in the Star Temple, but the Zhoutian Star God body is definitely not good, and there can be no mistakes. They have a complete inheritance, which can allow Gu Qing to become an immortal and an ancestor smoothly. Ji Meng, I have contacted the fairy world, and the treasures have been given by the above. Make sure it is foolproof. Understand, the ancestor of the Star Temple said in a deep voice. Don't worry, I will definitely train him with all my strength. Ji Meng's eyes were dim. For the Zhoutian Star God body, the Star Temple of the fairy world was really willing to spend a lot of money. You should know that the immortal world and the mortal world are different cosmic planes. Breaking the universe to transmit treasures requires extraordinary cultivation. 10 days. Gu Qing only took 10 days to break through to the peak of the 9th level of the refining god realm. Looking around, he saw a vast ocean. After all, his cave was very large, and he could not see the edge at a glance. He used less than half of the treasure liquid he poured out, putting away all the treasure liquid. Gu Qing muttered silently. System, call up my attribute panel and analyze my physical strength by the way. Name, Gu Qing. Realm, peak of the 9th level of the refining god realm. Constitution, Supreme Tao Bone, Chaos Star Body. Talent, born with Tao Seed, unprecedented in history. Fate, variable, fate, unknown, luck, 321000, innate magical powers, Chaos Aquarius Seal, Yin Yang Wheel, Star Picking Hand, Chaos Sword Art, 7-Star Fist, Broken Star Finger, Great Sun Fist, Magic Power, Destroy the 8 Desolations, Minor Success, Space Transfer, Minor Success, Magic Weapon, Samsara Divine Halberd, Golden Gourd, Space Divine Mark, Strange Fire, Heart of Ice and Fire, Innate Spiritual Root, 9-Colored Soul Lotus, Skill, Chaos Immortal Sutra, Initial Creation. Physical body, comparable to heaven-level magical weapon, hard to injure in the Void Tao realm. Not bad, not bad. God rewards hard work, and hard work pays off. This is what I deserve. The Chaos Star body has successfully transformed, and the physical body is comparable to heaven-level magical weapon. Moreover, Gu Qing has cultivated the deduction of magical power in Shaoqian sword art for more than a year, and finally became his innate magical power. Gu Qing, Come to this seat, the goddess Hall. Seeing the sky above the cave return to calm, Jimeng's eyes showed a smile. I don't know how much Qing has gained from these 10 days of retreat. I should have broken through to the second level of the refining god realm. She murmured, if it was an ordinary divine body, 10 days would not be enough to break through the refining god realm. After all, the further you go, the harder it is to break through a realm. When you reach the void Dao realm, breaking through a small realm is calculated in years. Qing is the Zhoutian Xingqian divine body, which is the supreme divine body that breaks through the realm the fastest. It is not a big problem to break through to the second level of the refining god realm in 10 days. However, when she saw Qing in person, she couldn't hold back her bold guess, the 9th level of the refining god realm. Break through a realm in 1 day. Jimeng couldn't imagine how Qing did it. Nonsense, why are you so eager to break through the realm? Don't you know that this will consume your potential? Jimeng's voice was angry. Master, my realm is very stable. Qing showed all his momentum, and the Dao Ryan was mysterious, which had already exceeded his realm. Jimeng was silent. Fortunately, the apprentice didn't see her true face. She said faintly, don't do this in the future. I know, master. To be honest, Qing didn't expect that he would break through so quickly, thanks to the assistance of the 9-colored soul lotus. After all, the soul is cultivated in the refining god realm, and the soul is the most difficult to improve. It can only rely on time accumulation, or use treasures to improve the soul. Jimeng hummed, and said calmly, do you have any difficulties in cultivation? Yes. Qing's eyes lit up, and he told all the difficulties in cultivation, as well as all kinds of wonderful ideas. Each one is an eternal problem with infinite changes. Jimeng considered it again and again, and answered it carefully. Master, the human body is like the universe, containing infinite treasures. How can we tap the treasures of the human body and evolve the human body into a cosmic body? Human flesh and blood cells can be recycled and regenerated. How can we make the most of it to achieve the rebirth of broken limbs and nirvana in one thought? If I refine the divine body as a divine pill, with yin and yang and 5 elements as firewood, and destiny as power, can I refine the law pattern? As Qing spoke out his wonderful ideas one by one, Jimeng's eyebrows tightened a little and her fists clenched tightly every time she said one. I wish I could knock Qing down with one punch. What kind of questions are these? Can you ask some common sense? Jimeng wanted to stop him, but after thinking carefully, although Qing's fantastic ideas were outrageous, they also made sense. Looking at Qing, who was full of curiosity, Jimeng took a deep breath and spoke slowly. Disciple, your cultivation is still too low now. It is not appropriate to know too much. You should comprehend the current realm well. It is a good thing to have ideas. She cannot discourage Qing's enterprising spirit. Ah. Okay. Qing was a little disappointed. The questions he asked were not made up, they were real and feasible problems that troubled him. He had a new idea, modify magical powers and secret techniques into cultivation techniques. Qing combined the nirvana in fire, transformation into a cocoon, and the fusion of the chaos Aquarius of the immortal heavenly skill, create a brand new smelting method and evolve the body, soul, and cultivation at the same time. It's a pity that Gardenia doesn't know and can't inspire him. What a cultivator. Ji Ning stood in the corner with complicated emotions. Ever since he returned to the Star Temple, Qing had turned a deaf ear to what was going on outside the window and only focused on cultivation. Leave behind these 2 charming and graceful beauties. I thought I would be able to hold a human cub this year, but now it seems that there is basically no chance. Master, I have discovered a secret. Is it possible to imprint traces of magical powers in the body as much as possible to increase the probability of awakening one's own magical powers? Qing asked enthusiastically. No. Have you tried it? What is the success rate? Gardenia subconsciously wanted to deny it. After all, whether you can awaken your natal magical power is closely related to your own physique. It has nothing to do with how much or how you practice your magical powers. But Qing is really evil, and it's really hard for her to keep her words to herself. My star finger, 7-star fist, and sun god fist were all successful. Gu Qing also felt a little incredible. If it were so easy to awaken the natal magical power, it would probably have become popular among everyone. But he did wake up, which is really strange. Freak. Ji Meng took a long breath. Okay, she didn't deny it just now. This is the reason for your special physique, which cannot be copied by outsiders. Gardenia replied. Maybe. Gu Qing took a sip of tea, poured her a cup, and continued to ask. Master, before you practice, the meridians of the human body are fragile, but after practice, they become as tough as dragon tendons and can carry the power of supernatural powers. If we open up the acupoints into inner cave worlds, is it possible to give birth to laws and gods? That he really wanted to know whether the sword energy in his cave could give birth to a spiritual sword. In fact, this question is more appropriate to ask He and I, but He and I didn't teach him how to smelt the warming and nourishing acupoints. By asking her, didn't he make it clear that he wanted her core inheritance? Do you know the mystery of the virtual realm? Gardenia was silent for a long time and did not answer the question. No. Gu Qing nodded and said, the Void Tao realm is to understand the nature of heaven and earth, open up a cave world, create the universe in the palm of your hand, and destroy thousands of miles of mountains and rivers in an instant. We must constantly deduce the laws of 10,000 ways in the cave world, interact with the inner world and the outer world, take the opportunity to understand the laws of heaven and earth, perfect our own way, absorb the power of heaven and earth, and create our own bodies. What about the king's realm? Ji Meng continued to ask. The realm of kings is the integration of internal and external heaven and earth, and the control of the great power of heaven and earth. Gu Qing answered quickly. When integrating the Chaos Immortal Sutra, he read each realm by heart. The state of the Venerable is to control the law and achieve the supreme level of humanity. The realm of the Saint is to condense the laws of the Holy Way, communicate with all the ways of heaven and earth, and patrol the heaven and earth. The Divine Fire realm is to ignite the immortal Divine Fire. The Divine Fire will not be extinguished and the soul will not be extinguished. Thinking of this, Gu Qing's eyes lit up. The method he mentioned to breed gods in the cave is somewhat similar to the current cultivation system. The difference lies in converging the power of the human body and converging the power of the acupoints. It seems you have already thought of it. Seeing this, Ji Meng smiled slightly. Gathering the power of the human body to ignite the divine fire is as difficult as reaching the sky, let alone letting a cell acupoint ignite the divine fire. Even more outrageous is the birth of gods. Is this something the human body can conceive? Master, if I smelt it into a divine object, or put a part of my soul into it as a sacrifice to the gods, is this possible? Gu Qing asked. Don't say it yet. Gardenia's fists hidden in her sleeves were clenched, wanting to hit someone. This is all bullshit. There is still some truth to it, although it is impossible to realize it. But cultivation is all about going against nature and making the impossible possible, so, what Gu Qing said is right. But she didn't know what to do. How should she answer? Master. Disciple, I know you are in a hurry, but don't be anxious yet. Your cultivation level is still low now. Don't aim too high. You must work steadily, step by step, and polish your foundation. In short, you must practice hard and study the experience of your predecessors, and realize the various aspects of life, enlightenment. As he spoke, Ji Meng rolled his eyes and continued, we in the Star Temple have an ancestor who has transcended the divine fire realm. He has participated in creation, his cultivation is all over the world, and he is omnipotent. Ancestor who has transcended the divine fire realm. Gu Qing was shocked. He never expected that such existence existed in the world. Of course. Ji Meng nodded with a smile. That. Master, I will help you inquire. Even if you lose everything, I still want you to go and listen to the voice of the ancestors' great road. Master, I can't help it, I think it's better to forget it. It's okay, you are my disciple. Okay, ancestor has agreed, you can go. Before she finished speaking, Ji Meng flicked her sleeves and moved Gu Qing away. Call, that she let out a long breath and her ears finally became clear. She had never seen such a tormenting little monster, but to be honest, Gu Qing's wonderful ideas gave her a lot of inspiration. Jimeng's beautiful eyes were shining, and she silently deduced the feasibility of it. TSK, my goddess who is so talented and noble like a god actually has a day when she sweats profusely. Standing in the corner, like an invisible person, Ji Ning couldn't help but think with gloating, although she also felt numb when she heard it. Her mind couldn't stop imagining, if Gu Qing's wonderful ideas could be realized, what kind of monster would evolve? Who is talking about me? Ji Meng's body was filled with the laws of the holy way, like a sacred and inviolable supreme goddess. The saint's thoughts were vast and majestic, patrolling the world. Ji Ning sat silently, as steady as an old cow. No. Is it an illusion? Ji Meng murmured, and saw Ji Ning in her eyes and said. Follow Gu Qing and record his every move. Yes. Ji Ning responded, and her figure gradually faded away like a ghost. Chapter 43 The smelting method is completed, and the goddess finally falls. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In a magnificent hall, there is a huge coffin floating in the air. Mysterious runes are engraved on it, like a living dragon, swimming around the coffin, exuding a mysterious Taoist charm. The hall is decorated with dazzling decorations, and golden lotuses emerge, interpreting endless changes in laws. Gu Qing closed his eyes and meditated, and his Taoist concepts improved rapidly. Ji Ning is no exception, after all. It was the ancestor who transcended the divine fire realm who was preaching. A month passed by in a hurry. The ancestor stopped preaching and saw that the Taoist charm around Gu Qing became more and more vast and mysterious, and he couldn't help but smile with satisfaction. Asked, yes, my understanding is acceptable. Thank you, ancestor, for clarifying my disciples' doubts. Gu Qing bowed and couldn't help but feel happy. His smelting method had taken another step forward and had already taken shape. For small things that Gardenia can't teach you in the future, feel free to ask me. The ancestor said calmly. Hearing this, Gu Qing looked at the coffin with bright eyes. Coming. Ji Ning couldn't help but observe 3 minutes of silence for her ancestor. If you have any questions, please tell me. Seeing this, the ancestor was even more satisfied with Gu Qing and said leisurely, this was the first time that he met such a sincere young man who wholeheartedly sought the truth. Ancestor, they all say that the teachings are natural and the magical power is self-evident. Do you think my 7-star fist is the 7-star fist, or is it not the 7-star fist? Gu Qing immediately used the 7-star fist to create 6 magical clones. The aura of each clone was the same as that of the original body, making it difficult to distinguish the true from the false, but soon, the hall turned into a deep starry sky, with stars surrounding the 7 magical figures, forming a 7-star formation. What's the meaning? The ancestor muttered. Isn't this their star temple's peerless magical power that has been passed down through the ages, the 7-star fist? Why did Gu Qing ask if it was the 7-star fist? Ancestor, Gu Qing performed the 7-star fist 3 times. Seeing that his ancestor still didn't speak, he couldn't help but express doubts. Ancestor, the 7-star fist has become the disciple's natal magical power. The first time I used it, the disciple only knew what it was and didn't know why. The second time I used it, I felt that there were many changes in the 7-star fist, and its power increased a bit. The third time I used it, I felt that the change was unnecessary. The 7-star fist is the 7-star fist. It gathers the power of the 7 stars and doubles its power. As we all know, magical power has 3 realms. If you look at a mountain, it is a mountain. If you look at a mountain, it is not a mountain. If you look at a mountain, it is still a mountain. Ancestor, what realm do you think I am at? This. The ancestor lived up to his indifference and was extremely anxious in the coffin. The god is well known to everyone. He has lived for countless years, and this is the first time he has heard of the 3rd level of supernatural power. How does he know which level Gu Qing is in? Why don't you just say something? No. The ancestor immediately rejected this idea. With his level, he quickly thought of the mystery of the 3rd heaven of supernatural powers and the divisions within it. The power of each level is extremely different, and it is absolutely impossible to increase it by just 1 star. Therefore, Gu Qing definitely only realized one level of heaven. He was confused, but which level it was, he was a little unsure. After thinking for a moment, the ancestor felt that Qing should be in the first heaven, because he knew too much and had insufficient realm. He fell into a trap and thought he was in the third heaven. With this in mind, the ancestor expressed his views tactfully. This scene made Ji Ning sigh with sadness. Unexpectedly, the ancestor who had transcended the divine fire realm would be overwhelmed by Xuanhuan. Really? Qing murmured, and his soul quickly deduced. He started practicing alone in the main hall. At first it was the 7-star fist that his ancestor was familiar with, but soon it was no longer the same. It becomes the 8-star fist and the 9-star fist, which can perform endless changes, and every move has overwhelming divine power. The power is 10 times more powerful than before. Could this kid be a monster? The ancestor's heart trembled when he saw it. This is a peerless magical power that has been passed down from the Star Temple for eternity. Its power shocks the past and the present. Its boxing technique is so perfect that it is almost impossible to change or improve, but Qing did it. Gardenia said that the least noteworthy thing about Qing was Qing's physique. He didn't believe it before, but now he is a little shaken. Thank you, ancestor, for your advice. Qing stopped practicing and bowed to thank him. Well, children can be taught. The ancestor said calmly, praying in his heart not to ask him anything he has never heard or seen before. Ancestor, my great sun god fist is fierce, fiery, poisonous, and full of destruction. What's wrong with that? The sun god fist is a tyrannical destructive force. An unknown premonition arose in the ancestor's heart. But I don't think it's right. The sun is the source of life. It should be full of vitality. The sun shines alone and revives all things. Stop. Your current realm is too low. It's not appropriate to comprehend something too profound. The only way to understand your current realm is to understand it carefully. Don't aim too high. The ancestor was confused after listening to it. He could still guess the third level of magical power, but there was no multiple choice question in the Great Sun Divine Fist. That's okay. Qing looked depressed. The feeling of not getting an answer was too uncomfortable. After thinking about it, Qing decided to ask some questions about the smelting method. Gardenia doesn't know, maybe the knowledgeable ancestor will know and can give him some inspiration. Ancestor, I want to sacrifice myself as a divine elixir and refine it into an eternal and unparalleled Taoist body. But during the smelting process, I will go all out. If it gets out of control, it will really become a divine elixir. So I should. The ancestors and Ji Ning were frightened when they heard this. Not to mention, Qing's idea was very radical and bold. Once successful, his physique would evolve to another realm, but the risk of losing control is very high, and you will be unable to stop even if you want to, so they couldn't give any advice on this matter. Ancestor, after Qing finished speaking, he looked at the coffin expectantly. Until now, the ancestor still didn't know that he had been tricked by Gardenia again. Qing didn't need his teaching at all. Gardenia, you lied to me again, you really deserve to die. Take your apprentice away quickly. What's wrong, ancestor, didn't you say you wanted to teach him personally? Gardenia's voice was filled with confusion. Okay, you have to see him embarrassed, right? It's a pity that he is dead and buried thousands of meters underground. Burn paper if you have something to do, don't think about it if you have nothing to do. Seeing his ancestor lying dead, Gardenia looked regretful. It was a pity that he didn't see his ancestor being embarrassed. Bring Qing back to Goddess Peak. Gardenia was the first to speak. You want to make an elixir? Qing nodded heavily. He must practice the elixir. Alchemy is also a kind of avenue. It was of great help to his smelting method. Then do you still want to use yourself as a divine elixir to be sacrificed? Gardenia glanced at Ji Ning's photo stone, looking at Qing as if looking at a unique treasure. Qing's words coincided with hers. She wants to smelt all the Dharma into one, and Qing wants to smelt all the Dharma into his own body. Different paths lead to the same destination. No, I just had a whim. The risks of performing a ritual are too great, and there are too many uncontrollable factors. I don't dare to risk my life. Gu Qing shook his head repeatedly, thinking that it was just an excuse to use himself as a divine elixir for sacrifice. His real purpose is to combine the nirvana and fire of the immortal heavenly power, the power of breaking out of cocoons, and his own chaos vase seal. I asked Gardenia and Ancestor just to gain experience from them, who knew that the two of them knew nothing. Really? Hearing this, Ji Meng took a deep look at Gu Qing. Gu Qing must have obtained the relevant skills, but they were not perfect, so he did not dare to try them. Tell me about the exercises. Maybe you can help me as a teacher. She said softly. Gu Qing's idea of Taoism was so outrageous that it was a bit fanciful. Before she saw the technique, she had no way of starting. Good. Gu Qing hesitated, explained half of the prototype of the technique, and picked some questions that he didn't understand, but even so, it is also a heaven-defying method, which is enough to make people jump over the dragon gate and reach the ultimate level of sublimation. The more Gardenia listened, the more radiant her eyes became, and her delicate body trembled slightly with excitement. The laws of the holy way inside the body roared, and Gu Qing's skills were deduced crazily. Ji Ning also pricked up her ears to listen, and her heart was filled with turmoil. She deduced it in her mind and received countless inspirations. As long as she retreated and understood it, she would be able to sublimate it and enter a new field. Gu Qing. Ji Meng looked at Gu Qing with burning eyes. The problem that had troubled her for thousands of years, after listening to Gu Qing's exercises, she finally perfected her own Taoist exercises. You can enter nirvana in the fire at any time, sublimate your body, soul, and laws of the holy way to the fullest, smelt all methods into one, ignite the divine fire, and use my way to control all ways. Thinking of this, Gardenia touched her filial disciple's head excitedly, opened her red lips lightly, and gave him all her money. Gu Qing's face looked a little unnatural. They said that a man's head and a woman's waist are untouchable. Why does Master have no sense of boundaries at all? Thinking about it, Gu Qing listened carefully. His eyes became brighter and brighter, and many things he didn't understand suddenly became clear. The method of smelting the Chaos Immortal Sutra was gradually perfected. A flash of inspiration suddenly appeared, and Gu Qing fell into an epiphany. The Immortal Chaos Sutra operated autonomously, swallowing up the spiritual energy between heaven and earth. With a casual move, Gardenia summoned endless brilliance from the sun, moon and stars, and then poured out several bottles of the three-light divine water. Buzz. Gu Qing floated in mid-air, enveloped by the brilliance of the sun, moon and stars, and quickly condensed into jade, forming a giant egg with mysterious Taoist patterns appearing on the surface. Is this the method of smelting? Ji Meng looked at the Tao pattern for a while, had a deeper understanding of his nirvana sublimation, and said to Ji Ning, I will be in seclusion for a period of time. You should protect him well and just obey his orders from now on. Yes. Ji Ning's eyes flashed slightly, and the image of the domineering master's forced love appeared in his mind. The goddess's attitude towards Gu Qing at this time is a bit like the picture novel I read not long ago. First I touched her head, and then I sent a strong person to protect her. I am extremely fond of her. Are I going to get jealous next? That's it. The noble goddess has finally fallen. She screamed like a marmot in her heart. You can see the goddess falling from the altar. The scene is exciting just thinking about it. Chapter 44 All fed to pigs. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At Saintess Peak, Su Qingyue held a pink and tender piglet in her arms with a smile on her face. It has only been a little over a year, and you have broken through from the mysterious pill realm to the 7th level of the God-refining realm. I really envy you, these supreme divine beings. Breaking through the realm is as easy as eating and drinking water, but you still have to worry about breaking through too quickly and deliberately suppressing the breakthrough. This makes us, those of us who take treasures and work hard to understand breakthroughs, very embarrassed. It's so irritating that people are so different from each other. Chu Yao had a look of envy on her face, wishing that she was also a supreme divine body, but unfortunately she could only fantasize about it. Everywhere, Master taught me well, and I took the star fruit and the 3 light divine water. These two divine objects can improve qualifications, strengthen the soul, and cleanse the soul. If she didn't suppress her realm, taking one star fruit would be enough for her to break through to the peak of the God-refining realm. That's right. The Star Temple is indeed an immortal orthodoxy that will last forever. Chu Yao took Su Qingyue's arm naturally and skillfully. For more than a year, the two became good sisters who talked about everything. She said with a joyful expression, "Mr. Gu and I traded a star fruit to transform my body. Coupled with your 3 light divine water to cleanse my body and soul, I am now no weaker than the true disciples of the temple." After joining the Temple of Stars, she realized that there is a sky outside the sky and there are people outside the world. She thought she was invincible before, but he was defeated miserably at the hands of the inner disciples of the Star Temple. Now it is possible to fight against the true disciples. Yes, our temple is really full of geniuses and monsters. Su Qingyue sighed endlessly. The disciples accepted by the Star Temple are all geniuses from all over the world. After practicing the Star Temple technique, he became even more powerful. Moreover, the competition in the Star Temple is very cruel, and those who survive are the best among them. Qiao hummed and said, "A few days ago, the Holy Son of the Sun had a decisive battle with an inner disciple, and both sides were evenly matched." "Isn't this possible?" Su Qingyue was shocked. Xuanhuan, the Holy Son of the Sun, is a supreme divine body. As the Holy Sun, he must have been trained by the temple with all his strength, and he has no shortage of magical skills, secrets, and treasures. Moreover, he is equipped with a magic weapon and his combat power is terrifying. It's true. The inner disciple's name is Jiangyu. He is the young patriarch of the immortal family. He has a void divine body and a pure yang dao bone. Chu Yao explained. No wonder. Su Qingyue suddenly realized, the immortal Jiang family is a family that has ancestors in the divine fire realm. It has been at its peak for tens of thousands of years. There is an ancestor in the saint realm in the family. As the young clan leader, Jiangyu also has a superb divine body, so he must have been trained by the Jiang family. It makes sense to be able to tie with Zhangyang, but none of this is her business. Su Qingyue lowered her head, teasing the little fragrant pig with a smile on her face, and poked it with her slender hand. Hong Hong, the little lazy pig knows how to eat, drink and sleep every day. Oh! My little ancestor. Chu Yao became anxious and said, I have said so much, don't you understand what I mean? What? You are the Taiyin divine body, and Zhangyang is the great sun divine body. He will definitely seek out your dual cultivation to improve his strength and seek revenge on Jiangyu. Hearing this, Su Qingyue recalled the scene of being entangled by Zhangyang. Her face suddenly changed, and she asked. Isn't he madly pursuing junior sister Luoli recently? Humph, pursuing Luoli doesn't mean giving up on you. Men are like this, eating from the bowl and looking at the pot. Chu Yao snorted coldly and angrily poked her smooth forehead. Also, Luoli's city is deep and ruthless. During this period, he has defeated many talented disciples one after another, recruited followers, and made friends with the true disciples. She is very ambitious and has already started planning to become a saint. I guess it won't be long before she challenges you. Hearing this, Su Qingyue remained silent. At first, she was quite happy to have a junior sister, but after a few contacts, she knew that Luoli had ill intentions towards her and wanted to pull her down from the position of saint and replace her with her. But knowing that Gui knew, she really didn't know what to do. She will never give up her position as a saint, and she will only be able to see Xinjiang under her hands. You listen to me. If Zhangyang comes to see you, you first make peace with him, then recruit a group of followers to make your name famous, and try to be friends with the true disciples of the major peaks. In this way, even if you lose to Luoli, your status as a saint cannot be shaken. After all, you are the Taiyin divine body and can practice Taiyin and Sun chaos record. Chu Yao knew that she had a simple personality and was not good at communicating with others. From her birth until now, she was either practicing in the Holy Land of Moon or in the Temple of Stars, and she had never experienced the dangers of the human heart. There is basically no chance of letting her deal with the insidious and cunning Luoli. I don't. Su Qingyue shook her head. She felt disgusted when she saw Zhangyang. as for building a good relationship with other main peak disciples, she also wanted to, but when she met people, she became nervous and didn't know what to say or how to answer their questions. I just want to be invisible, therefore, she always had a cold face, hence the name aloof goddess. Xuanhuan didn't care what others thought of her. She just wanted to stay in her own world and practice quietly to become stronger. Hey! Chu Yao sighed. Xuanhuan didn't cooperate, even if she had all kinds of ways, there was nothing she could do. After thinking about it, Chu Yao said, let's go find Mr. Gu and see what his attitude is. Senior brother. Hearing Gu Qing, Xuanhuan's beautiful eyes lit up, and she pulled Chu Yao away. Chu Yao shook her head speechlessly. A beautiful young girl has everything written on her face, it's just a pity that the flowing water falls in love without mercy. She was greatly impressed by Gu Qing. Don't let go of the beauty like a fairy, and work hard every day. Master Gu is really a cultivator. Let her stay in seclusion for a year or two, and that won't be a big problem, but she couldn't do it if she was asked to stay in the Sutra Pavilion for a year or two and study the sage's books painstakingly. Your Highness the Saint, our holy son invites you. As soon as the two people came out of the Saintess Peak, a young man came up to them with a smile. No time, get out of the way. Xuanhuan's beautiful face looked calm. Holy girl, our holy son. Snort. Before the young man could finish speaking, Xuanhuan snorted coldly and pointed at the young man. When faced with a stalker, the problem simply cannot be solved without taking action. Boom. The extreme coldness condensed the surrounding air into ice. The young man only had the third level of divine refining, so even if he sacrificed his magic weapon, he would not be a single enemy of Xuanhuan. Kai-Fei was horrified and filled with rage. He was Zhang Yang's after all. How could Xuanhuan dare to seriously hurt him at the slightest disagreement? Kai-Fei's body and soul were eroded by the energy of the lunar calendar, and he was considered semi-waste. To recover, he needed very rare healing elixirs. Let's go. Xuanhuan didn't look back. Although it's a bit ruthless to do this, it's really fun. After all, who wouldn't be disgusted by being stuck on a piece of dog skin plaster that can't be shaken off? The whole day's good mood was ruined. Since Kai-Fei refused to leave, he would have to pay the price for it. This is what Gu Qing taught her. Rather than wronging herself, it is better to create enemies. From then on, no one dared to pester her, and she was in a good mood every day. Puff! Kai-Fei spit out a mouthful of broken ice slag as he used his skills, and the cold air filled the air. He glanced at Xuanhuan's disappearing back with malicious eyes, raised his flying sword and left. He came to Xingzi Peak and went straight to the top. In the pavilion on the top of the mountain under the dim light of the sun, several young people were drinking leisurely. The sun. Kai-Fei bowed to the tall young man with his hands behind his back outside the pavilion. Waste. Zhang Yang didn't look back, his voice was sullen. I'm sorry, holy son, it's my subordinate who is incompetent. Kai-Fei lowered his head, his eyes filled with resentment. What did she say? The saint didn't say a word, but when she heard the saint. Useless stuff. Zhang Yang turned around, his handsome face was indifferent, his eyes were as cold as knives, and he shot out 2 rays of light. Boom. Kai-Fei flew out upside down, and the cold energy of Taiyin in his body mixed with the fire poison of the sun, making him miserable and adding to his injuries. Your Highness, the Holy Sun, spare your life. Kai-Fei's eyes were horrified and he immediately knelt down and begged for mercy. Roll. Kai-Fei was struck by lightning and looked at Zhang Yang blankly. He originally wanted to add fuel to the fire and blame his failure on Xuanhuan, and also asked Zhang Yang for some healing pills. However, I didn't expect that Zhang Yang would be so violent and ruthless. He knew that he had been given up by Zhang Yang. The sun fire poison left in his body obviously wanted his life, but why is this happening? He just didn't invite anyone. I thought that by following Zhang Yang, I would have a bright future and get more resources. As a result, no benefit was obtained, and he died because of it. Kai-Fei's ambition now turned into despair. Don't get out. Then go to hell. Zhang Yang was too lazy to think about what Kai-Fei was thinking. He was just an ant, so there was no need to care. Kai-Fei was killed with one punch. He killed Kai-Fei not because Kai-Fei didn't invite people. but because Kai Fei was really stupid. Even though he knew that he wanted to pursue Su Qingyue, he didn't ask about Su Qingyue's personality and preferences. What's the use of his subordinates who can't share his worries? Brother Zhang, I received news that junior sister Su is looking for Gu Qing again. At this time, a young man spoke calmly with a playful smile. Yes, poor brother Zhang is so infatuated that he sends all kinds of treasures and asks for help for many years, but he doesn't get a single look back from junior sister Su. Poor. I heard that the treasures given by brother Zhang were all fed to pigs by junior sister Su, ha ha ha. The three young men smiled and poked at Zhang Yang's sore spots, hoping that Zhang Yang would retreat, a dignified saint son of the first generation, whose status is comparable to that of an elder in the venerable realm, but fell into such a trap. Zhang Yang has broken the record of saint sons in the Star Temple. Zhang Yang's face turned dark, and terrifying murderous intent surged around his body. Today, he has lost all face. If these people weren't much weaker than him, he would definitely crush these three people to ashes. Taking a deep breath, Zhang Yang sarcastically said. Oh, isn't it possible that you are not? Although he was completely humiliated, these idiots also gave Su Qingyue gifts, so they were still fed to pigs? Who doesn't know that they are all Su Qingyue's liquors? Everyone is half-hearted, and the eldest brother doesn't laugh at the second brother. Sure enough, after hearing this, the three of them stopped laughing and looked at each other with gloomy expressions. Let's not talk secretly. Junior sister Su is so beautiful and beautiful. She is a perfect match for me. You'd better give up. Zhang Yang looked at the three people with deep eyes, murderous intent revealed. Oh, we know exactly what you are thinking. Yes, you just took a fancy to her Taiyin divine body and wanted to practice Taiyin Sun Chaos Lu. Unfortunately, I also want to practice Taiyin Sun Chaos Lu. The few people did not give in at all and looked at Zhang Yang. You must know that the most powerful technique in the Star Temple, besides the Zhoutian Star technique, is the Taiyin Sun Chaos Record. Moreover, this technique is very special and extremely simple to practice. You can achieve the Supreme Avenue by practicing double cultivation. Let your body transform into the acquired Yin and Yang chaotic body. Who would give up under such temptation? Ha ha ha. Zhang Yang laughed, but there was no smile in his eyes, and they were as cold as knives. Are you also qualified to practice Taiyin Sun Chaos Lu? It is true that the Taiyin Sun Chaos Record is a treasure book of the most powerful dual cultivation, but not everyone can practice it. The woman must be a Taiyin god, and the man should preferably be a sun god, and his great sun divine body has transformed into the sun divine body. Su Qingyue was determined to win. With Su Qingyue's assistance, he would be able to secure his position as the son of God, or even the son of God. If these three bitches still dare to disrespect him, they will be killed, and Jiangyu, destroying the Jiang family is just a matter of his words. That won't bother you. The three of them sneered, stood up and left. Zhang Yang's face was as gloomy as water. He thought for a while and found a few of his subordinates. His Royal Highness the Holy Sun. Several young people are in the Void Dao realm, with terrifying blood and powerful heads. Su Qingyue, this bitch, already has her heart. No matter how hard she tries, she still can't win her heart. Is there any way you can help me get her? Speaking of Su Qingyue, Zhang Yang's eyes were full of anger and he wished he could tear her alive. Zhang Yang just couldn't figure it out. He was extremely talented and he was the Holy Sun, so he was a perfect match for Su Qingyue. What reason did Su Qingyue have to reject him? Feeding the miraculous medicine he sent to pigs is simply a shame and a disgrace. Your Highness, I think you can find someone to defeat Gu Qing. That's right, the saint has taken a liking to Gu Qing. Perhaps she was attracted by his sincere pursuit of truth and thought that this boy had a bright future. If he is defeated, his sincerity will naturally become a joke. The only troublesome thing is how to get Gu Qing to challenge. If it was anyone else, they would definitely kill him directly, but Gu Qing is a disciple of Gardenia, and the most they dare to do is injure people. Then again, this is not the first time they have proposed this. However, the war post he sent was regarded as waste paper by Gu Qing, who continued to indulge in his own practice. Okay, you go and arrange someone. Regardless of whether he should fight or not, He must be severely injured and his hands and feet should be clean. Don't let anyone find out that it was us who did it. Put the blame on Jin Sheng, Wei Yiqing, and Xuanhuan. These three people were the young men who had just competed with him for Su Qingyue. They were very powerful and had become disciples of saints. They were all from immortal families and dynasties. Let their people take action, and even if the three of them jump into the Yellow River, they will not be able to escape. The Holy Sun is wise, I will let people do it right away. I guarantee that even they themselves won't know. He bowed, paused, and then said, His Royal Highness the Holy Sun, should we give them some treasures to ensure that they are safe? Although they didn't know what Gu Qing's physique was or what his strength was, Gu Qing was a disciple of Gardenia and his talent was definitely not bad. Rational. Xuanhuan smiled with satisfaction and threw out several terrifyingly powerful expendable magic weapons. This is his good subordinate who can share his worries at all times. Kai Fei deserves to die. Seeing that the matter was done, someone couldn't help but be curious and asked, Holy Sun, do you know what Gu Qing's physique is? Gu Qing has been too low-key these years, but as a disciple of Gardenia, he was among thousands of people, and it was difficult for them not to be curious. However, no matter how they inquired, they could not find out any news about Gu Qing. I only know that there is such a person in the Star Temple. I don't know. Xuanhuan shook his head and then said disdainfully. A person who only knows how to work behind closed doors is nothing to be afraid of. Even if you have outstanding qualifications, how strong can you be if you work behind closed doors? Strong men are tempered by blood and fire to verify their own Tao and Dharma. Yes, Saintess and Chu Yao are still in perfect condition. It would be extremely stupid to leave such charming beauties untouched and focus on studying Taoism. Several people showed contempt, thinking that Gu Qing was hopeless. If it were them, they would definitely capture Su Qingyue immediately and practice the Lunar Sun Chaos record together. In addition, with Gardenia as a backer, isn't the position of the Holy Sun and the Supreme Path within easy reach? Su Qingyue, this bitch, will reward you when I get tired of playing with you. Xuanhuan spoke coldly. Your Highness, what did you just say? I'll give it to you when I get tired of playing with it. As we all know, he is a bottomless liquor, but who knew that this was just a helpless move, and he was not interested in Su Qingyue at all. What interests him is the Taiyin divine body. Su Qingyue made him lose face. Once Su Qingyue's value is squeezed out, he will never make it easy for Su Qingyue. Thank you for the reward, Your Highness. Several people were ecstatic. Su Qingyue is as beautiful as a fairy and has a noble status. They have been coveting her for a long time, it's just due to status and strength. Xuanhuan nodded. He always rewarded his subordinates who could do things well. What about Chu Yao? How does His Highness plan to deal with it? Chu Yao is a peerless beauty, and she is also the daughter of the president of Wanbao Tower. Xuanhuan doesn't like Chu Yao, but they do. After I break my virginity, I'll give it all to you. Xuanhuan looked indifferent. She was just a sleazy lady with beautiful looks. A beautiful figure like a god or a demon appeared in Xuanhuan's mind, and he clenched his fists. I am determined to obtain the position of the Son of God with the acquired Yin-Yang Chaos body. Chapter 45 Senior Brother Lushui, Junior Sister Puff. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ji Ning, where has Senior Brother gone? Practice inside. Ah. The two women were stunned. Gu Qing had his own training cave, so how could he practice in the goddess hall? He had an epiphany. Ji Ning explained. Senior Brother is really awesome. Su Qingyue's beautiful eyes were sparkling, and her beautiful face was full of smiles. It's quite powerful. Ji Ning's tone was faint, her eyes dark, and she quickly glanced at Su Qingyue's delicate body. The little girl has grown, the long legs are straight and well-proportioned, the body is slim and graceful, with the front and back curved, the snow-white and delicate skin seems to glow. There is a kind of otherworldly beauty, like a fairy accidentally left in the mortal world. Aha, Su Qingyue nodded repeatedly. In her heart, Gu Qing was the unparalleled and proud man of heaven. Qiao was speechless and held her forehead. Even if you like Gu Qing, you don't have to look so worthless, the little sister is hopeless, click. In the main hall, there was a sound of breaking eggshells, the crystal-clear giant egg covered with Tao patterns suddenly shattered and turned into billions of light particles, pouring into Gu Qing's body. Void Tao Realm. Gu Qing murmured, realizing the vast power of the virtual realm. As far as the eye can see, the whole world becomes clear, fragile, and small. His backhand can destroy the world and turn everything upside down. Congratulations to the host, you finally entered the door of cultivation. The system's gentle and magnetic voice sounded in Gu Qing's mind. Getting started, that's right, only when you enter the virtual realm can you be considered a true monk. You can control the world, understand the laws of 10,000 ways, and live for thousands of years. I see. Gu Qing nodded, thinking back on this journey of practice, he felt sad. At the beginning, he couldn't even get an earth-level skill if he wanted to, sweating day and night. I just want to break through the body training realm as soon as possible and become a being that transcends the divine sea realm, but now, only a few years later, he has reached heights that he could not even imagine before. In the Void Tao realm, if you look at the outside world, you can already dominate one place and be an eternal giant who can watch the storm. Thinking about it, Gu Qing calmed down and said silently. Bring up my properties panel. Fate variable, fate unknown, luck 320,000, natural power, chaos Aquarius seal, yin-yang wheel, star picking hand, chaos sword technique, star shattering finger, star fighting divine fist, supernatural power, destroy the 8 wastelands, small success, move space, small success, magic weapon, samsara divine halberd, golden gourd, space divine pattern, exotic fire, heart of ice and fire. Innate spiritual root, 9-color soul lotus exercise chaos. Immortality sutra. My 7-star fist and sun god fist are integrated into one. No. Your physique has transformed and derived the star Doshan fist. You can perform any star boxing technique, as well as differentiation and combination boxing. I call them star Doshan fist. Nice job this time. Gu Qing expressed his relief that his adoptive father finally fell in love with him. In addition, the Chaos Immortality Sutra has become a creation technique, with the characteristics of smelting all kinds of techniques. In the future, the host will be able to automatically fuse and derive it after taking a look at the technique, and the creation will be endless. Okay. Gu Qing was overjoyed. This is a real surprise. From now on, he no longer needs to work hard to understand the techniques. The host's Chaos Aquarius seal has infinite creation. If used well, it can achieve supreme existence even without me. The system highly praised the Chaos Aquarius seal and reminded Gu Qing to make good use of the Chaos Aquarius seal. The Chaos Immortal Sutra can evolve into a creation technique, all because of the Chaos Aquarius seal. Gu Qing nodded solemnly. Even if the system doesn't tell him, he plans to use the Chaos Aquarius seal more in the future. Senior brother. Su Qingyue's long skirt is fluttering, with a mysterious light, and she is beautiful and refined, as if the mysterious goddess from the 9 heavens has descended into the mortal world. Senior brother, have you broken through to the virtual realm? Seeing Gu Qing state clearly, Su Qingyue's beautiful eyes showed a look of shock. Chu Yao's eyelashes quivered slightly, and thousands of horses galloped in her heart. If she remembers correctly, Gu Qing was in the mysterious Dan realm 2 months ago, right? Could it be that hard practice can make people advance by leaps and bounds? Chu Yao was moved, and secretly made up her mind to see the secrets and techniques when she had time, so as to gain experience in cultivation and accumulate knowledge. Gu Qing hummed, with a warm smile on his face, it's just a matter of luck and a sudden enlightenment. How can there be such a thing as luck in cultivation? Senior brother is an unparalleled and proud man of heaven. Su Qingyue didn't look like a goddess at all at this moment. Her little mouth was as sweet as honey, her beautiful eyes looked at Gu Qing with admiration. Originally, she was a little worried that Gu Qing would not be able to keep up with the skills after practicing it for more than a year. However, it turns out that her senior brother Gu Qing is unparalleled. The fairy turned into a little girl in an instant. Gu Qing was so excited when she saw it, and she felt a sense of accomplishment. Mr. Gu, this is the demonic beast's flesh and blood and elixir that were just delivered. Chu Yao's smile was charming and seductive. Like a peerless enchantress, she put the storage ring into the palm of Gu Qing's hand and lightly traced it with her fingers, her fox eyes as charming as silk, little goblin. Gu Qing felt depressed. Chu Yao looks charming to the core, but in fact she is a conservative person with a firm heart. For more than a year, I teased him a lot, but he was only responsible for lighting the fire, and ran away after teasing, which made Gu Qing so angry that his teeth itched. But Gu Qing is not a saint who stays calm. Gu Qing held her Ingbai wrist with his backhand and brought her into his arms. The soft and delicate body was close to her, and the sweet fragrance came to her nostrils. Looking from top to bottom, Gu Qing saw her side face as white as jade, her clavicle was delicate, round and straight. Gu Qing's eyes were understanding, and he held her slender waist with his big hands. "Ah! You!" Chu Yao exclaimed, her cheeks turned red, and she struggled to leave in panic. Gu Qing sneered, thinking how bold it was, but didn't expect this. Su Qingyue looked on with sour eyes. Gu Qing had never treated her like this. Could it be that Gu Qing liked Chu Yao? Just when she was thinking wildly, Chu Yao pushed her directly into Gu Qing's arms and said with a smile, "Your little lover is here. Senior brother." Su Qingyue's cheeks were red, she held Gu Qing's chest with both hands, and gave a weak cry. Gu Qing's eyelids twitched, he couldn't help but play with this. "Coming, coming." Ji Ning's eyes, hidden in the mysterious light, shone brightly. The sanctimonious senior brother finally took off his disguise and took over the pure junior sister, transforming into senior brother Lushui and junior sister Puff. Gu Qing suddenly turned around and looked at Ji Ning with a frown. His intuition was sharp and he noticed that there was a gaze staring at him. Is it Ji Ning? Probably not. Ji Ning is like a fisherman from RT Mart who has been in business for 10 years. He is cold-hearted and ruthless and doesn't say much. Maybe it's an illusion. Gu Qing muttered to himself, withdrew his thoughts and looked at the delicate and exquisite Su Qingyue. It would be a lie to say he wasn't moved, but he already had Lin Chuqing. "Chu Yao, do you have any news about my fiancé?" That this was meant for Su Qingyue. Sure enough, when she heard Lin Chuqing, Su Qingyue's eyes dimmed a bit and she fell silent. She leaned directly into Gu Qing's arms, indicating that she didn't mind. She is practicing in the eastern region of the ancient world. Chu Yao smiled playfully, rolled up a bunch of hair with her green fingers and said, "I heard that there are several peerless geniuses around her." "Why are you so anxious?" Gu Qing told her about Lin Chuqing and asked her to inquire about Lin Chuqing and occasionally give each other some gifts. Over time, she and Lin Chuqing have become sisters who have known each other for a long time, and they often use the jade to communicate. Therefore, Chu Yao knew Lin Chuqing's whereabouts very well. Excellent people will inevitably be entangled by ants. Gu Qing shook his head, he was completely at ease with Lin Chuqing. She asked you and Qingyue to practice Taiyin and Sun Chaos Lu. What do you think? Chu Yao's beautiful eyes turned, looking at the two people hugging each other intimately, and asked seriously. I'll hold it and watch. Gu Qing hugged Su Qingyue's slim waist tightly with his big hands, and looked at her shy and overwhelmed expression with a smile in his eyes. Lin Chuqing also told him that the road is long, long and blocked. If he meets the right person, he will become a Taoist couple and support each other. There's no problem with the eldest wife, since Su Qingyue doesn't mind. If he does mind and pushes people away, is he still a man? Humph, it's cheap, you have to treat Qingyue well. Chu Yao snorted and felt relieved that the lovers were finally married. As for Gu Qing having two proud daughters of heaven at the same time, she didn't think it was a big deal. Mortals still have 3 wives and 4 concubines, and the emperor's concubine has 3,000 beauties. Isn't it normal for monks like them to have more Taoist companions? As long as you have the ability, you can marry as many as you want. Not to mention, her father had more than 300 wives and concubines, and this was the aunt who welcomed her into the house. She kept as many as 8,000, if not 10,000, outside, and some female nuns do the same thing. They act as brides every night, just like the reincarnated bodhisattva, saving the men in the world. After all, their monks have long lifespans and all focus on cultivation. The desires of men and women are just to vent their desires and relax their mood. Of course, in addition to this, there are also pairs of people in one life. Don't worry, your heart is like mine, and you will definitely live up to your love. Gu Qing answered decisively, holding Su Qingyue's slim waist tightly with his big hands. Well, I believe, senior brother. Su Qingyue raised her head, mustered up her courage, put her delicate hands around Gu Qing's neck, and said seriously. At this moment, Gu Qing's figure filled his heart and eyes. Your heart is like my heart, there is something. Chu Yao murmured, feeling surprised in her heart. You must know that their monks are dedicated to seeking the Tao, and all they have learned from childhood are knowledge related to practice. This is difficult to be literate. Shaking her head, Chu Yao took back her thoughts, remembered the purpose of her trip, and immediately asked Gu Qing how to deal with Luo Li's ambition. Don't worry, the saint can only be Qingyue, no one can take it away. Luo Li, the female villain, is ruthless, deep-tempered, lusty for power, and has a strong and domineering personality. Gu Qing was not surprised at all that she wanted to be a saint, but as long as Gardenia doesn't agree, Luo Li can't change the world. Also, he is a disciple trained by the core of the Star Temple, and even the ancestors preach for him. As long as Su Qingyue is his Taoist companion, no one can challenge her status. With your words, I feel relieved. By the way, there are many disciples who covet Qingyue, and the Holy Sun is determined to get Qingyue. You have to be careful. Also, when we came to Goddess Peak, there were a few sneaky Xiandan realm following us. What are you going to do? What should I do? Of course I'll crush him to death. Walk. Chapter 46. A dead senior brother is a good senior brother. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The biography of Gu Zhen. As soon as Gu Qing walked out of the Goddess Peak, 3 young men at the 9th level of the mysterious pill realm came together and blocked him. Boom. Gu Qing was too lazy to listen to their nonsense, and the aura of the void Tao realm exploded. The 3 people suddenly felt that the world was upside down, and an invisible force squeezed them. Their bodies were twisted and deformed, and their eyes were horrified. I thought it was a simple task, so I came here with great ambition. He fantasizes about severely injuring Gu Qing, obtaining heavenly materials and earthly treasures, and quickly improving his cultivation level. Unexpectedly, Gu Qing was in the void Tao realm. No. Spare my life. Regret and fear spread in their hearts. If they could do it all over again, they would never take the wrong path and practice honestly. Unfortunately, there is no if. If you do something wrong, you have to pay for it. With a bang, the 3 of them turned into blood mist. Gudong. Chu Yao swallowed, her heart trembling. She knew these 3 people, they had superior spiritual bodies, and they might break through to the realm of kings in the future and live for tens of thousands of years. However, just because of a momentary mistake, he was crushed to death like an ant. The weak eat the strong, and natural selection is vividly reflected at this moment. And a rat. Gu Qing's consciousness swept around him. These 3 people are obviously cannon fodder, and there must be someone behind the scenes. To cut the grass, you must remove the root. Gu Qing knows this well. Soon, Gu Qing found a young man at the 3rd level of the void Tao realm in a void. Gu Qing punched him without hesitation. The fist seal is like an ancient star falling, with majestic power. The person hiding was shocked and had no time to think about it, so he took out the big cauldron and smashed it over. With a bang, the heaven-level magic weapon cauldron shattered, and the power of the fist seal was not reduced, directly blasting the man. Gu Qing opened his hand, sucked his soul into his hand, and searched for the soul. His. Gu Qing's silky killing technique scared Chu Yao. Cruel, too cruel, kill people and search for souls without saying a word. Chu Yao looked at Gu Qing intently, as if she was meeting Gu Qing for the first time. Gu Qing usually looked like a very gentle person, but he didn't expect that if he didn't take action, he would be like thunder, and Gu Qing's magical powers are too terrifying. You must know that the heaven-level magic weapon is a magic weapon specially used for the void Tao realm. Its power is so terrifying that even the king realm is difficult to break it, but he was beaten up by Gu Qing with a random punch. Isn't his combat power comparable to that of a king? The more she thought about it, the more unfamiliar Gu Qing seemed to Chu Yao. This kid's physical body is really terrifying. It's hard to imagine how he trained his physical body to be comparable to a heaven-level magic weapon in a few years. If it were someone else, it would be impossible, but don't forget, he is the divine body of Zhoutian stars, and his human body is like the Zhoutian stars universe, embracing all rivers. Yes. Zhudiangxingqian divine body is indeed one of the strongest physiques, unparalleled. In this golden age, my star temple is destined to dominate. The old antique lying in the coffin had a full view of Gu Qing's magical powers. It can be seen at a glance that Gu Qing can destroy heaven-level magic weapons. This is because Gu Qing's physical strength combined with magical powers can defeat all magic weapons with one force. And Gu Qing didn't use his full strength at all, he really just punched casually. Senior brother is so powerful. Su Qingyue's beautiful eyes were shining, and her heart was shocked. She couldn't imagine how Gu Qing could destroy the heaven-level magic weapon, but she quickly reacted and said worriedly. Brother, wouldn't this be good? Killing a disciple without any reason is a serious crime and requires death. The name she knew from the Void Dao realm was Hu Peng, a follower of Zhang Yang and a true disciple of the Star Temple. Don't worry. The law enforcement hall is fair and impartial. They will not wrongly accuse good people. They will investigate the matter clearly and clear my name. Let alone killing the true disciples, even if Zhang Yang is killed, the law enforcement hall will not do anything to him. Instead, they will find ways to help him get away with it. This is a world where the strong are respected and the strong dictate the rules. With Gardenia's endorsement, he can run rampant in the Star Temple. Are you innocent? Chu Yao's eyelids twitched and she rolled her eyes. Do you believe this? Trust, justice is in the heart. Gu Qing said something, took the two girls, stepped into the starry sky, and spoke coldly. Zhang Yang, come out and fight. His voice traveled tens of thousands of miles, reaching the Holy Sun Peak. He is serious about eradicating the roots. Senior brother, Zhang Yang is at the peak of the 9th level of the Void Dao realm. Su Qingyue's expression changed. Zhang Yang was not Hu Peng. Since Zhang Yang was born, he has taken various heavenly materials and earthly treasures to polish the foundation of his physical body, and practice the Taoist scriptures of the sun, as well as many magical powers and secret techniques. Although Zhang Yang felt aggrieved when he was the Holy Sun, that was because this was a golden age and there were many perverts among the true disciples. All in all, Zhang Yang is not considered weak among the saints in the past. He is even a relatively outstanding saint's son. This can be seen from the fact that he has not lost since his debut. Although she believed that Gu Qingxiang was invincible, the gap between the two was too big. No problem, I can kill him with 3 moves. Gu Qing put his arms around her soft waist. If Zhang Yang dares to covet Su Qingyue, then he will not be allowed to stay. Yes, I believe in you, senior brother. Hearing this, Su Qingyue felt relieved. Maybe she was confused because of her concern. Gu Qing can even destroy heaven-level magic weapons, so it is not impossible to defeat Zhang Yang. Thinking about it, Su Qingyue's cheeks became hot, her delicate body twisted uneasily, and her beautiful eyes looked around uneasily. Brother, please let me go first. Gu Qing, who originally wanted to let go, doesn't want to let go now. Teasing the shy and pure fairy made him feel particularly satisfied. Chu Yao's beautiful eyes were sparkling, and her mind was full of Gu Qing's figure, domineering and strong, and full of spirit. She suddenly envied Su Qingyue. Su Dao realm. On the other side, Zhang Yang, who heard the voice, was stunned. Isn't he in Xiandan realm? When he joined the Star Temple, it seems that he was only in Shanghai realm. Hu Peng's life card was broken. Several people were silent. I can't figure out how Gu Qing, who was in Xiandan realm, turned into Su Dao realm. Why did he break through the realms so quickly? Gu Qing didn't hide it from everyone and secretly took various treasures to madly improve his cultivation, right? The young man who spoke, with a thoughtful look in his eyes, said uncertainly. It must be. I didn't expect that he is not only a blockhead, but also a fool. Ha ha ha. Zhang Yang laughed out loud, his face excited. This is really good news. Although a strong physique can help people break through realms quickly, if the foundation is not polished well, it will consume potential. Gu Qing is useless. Your Highness, since Gu Qing is asking for death, why not help him? It's just right for him to show his prowess in front of the saint. A young man with dragon horns on his head said happily. Well, that's what I mean. Go. Zhang Yang smiled coldly, flicked his sleeves, and rode the 9-dragon carriage to the battle. He will crush with absolute strength and let Gu Qing see what a peerless genius is. A phoenix carriage screamed and resounded through the starry sky. The carriage was like a small fairy palace, magnificent and magnificent, with divine rainbows. Luoli wore a gorgeous phoenix skirt and a phoenix crown on her head, like a peerless empress, majestic and domineering, with a sacred and inviolable aura. Senior brother. Seeing the two hugging each other intimately, Luo Li's heart sank. Whether she can become a saint, Gu Qing is very important to her. As long as Gu Qing supports her, it is only a matter of words for her to become a saint. This is not an exaggeration. After all, Gu Qing is the Zhoutian star god body, the darling of the star temple, and can get whatever he wants. In addition, Jimeng is very concerned about Gu Qing, but ignores her and perfunctorily. She is also cold to Su Qingyue. Knowing this, Luo Li has been looking for Gu Qing for more than a year. However, Gu Qing is like a piece of wood, with only the Tao in his heart, and he is too lazy to even see her. Luo Li once doubted whether she had lost her charm and was no longer the 9th princess who was the most beautiful in the world. When she heard that Gu Qing had a conflict with Zhang Yang this time, she rushed here as soon as possible. She thought that if Gu Qing lost, she would save him and let Gu Qing owe her a favor. Now that the two have become lovers, what can she do? Her plan will be aborted. Well, junior sister is so lucky. Gu Qing glanced at her. At the peak of the 9th level of the refining spirit realm, the Tao rhyme that naturally emanated from her was extremely mysterious. Every move she made had a transcendent aura. It was as if she was a peerless queen who was above all living beings. Not as good as senior brother. Luo Li smiled slightly, but there was no smile in the depths of her eyes. She thought, it would be best if Zhang Yang accidentally killed Gu Qing, since she couldn't use him. A dead senior brother was a good senior brother. Chapter 47. I am guilty, who dares to convict me? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hold head high. 9 true dragons pulled a huge palace, majestic, and rolled through the void. Oh. Here's some explosive art for you. Seeing this, Gu Qing looked unhappy. It's just a fight at the door. It's like a god traveling around the world. Coincidentally, after killing those 3 mysterious Dan realms, they each had a consumable magic weapon in their storage rings. There are thousands of types of magic weapons in this world, but when it comes to which magic weapon is the most powerful, consumable magic weapons definitely rank high. The consumable magic weapon array is special. It is a one-time consumption array, which is equivalent to sealing the magical power inside. After being activated, it can burst out together with the user's magical power, and the power is superimposed. You can also choose to self-destruct. Whoosh. The 3 magic weapons were like streams of light, shooting towards the Kowloon chariot. Boom. Before Zhang Yang could react, 3 earth-level magic weapons exploded, forming 3 destructive storms that caused the sky to collapse and the earth to collapse. The terrifying explosion power was enough to injure and kill the Void Tao realm. However, Zhang Yang's chariot is the king's weapon. It has an automatic defense formation. The formation is activated at the moment of explosion. At the same time, the 9 true dragons were in the Void Tao realm, and they jointly used defensive magical powers, but they blocked the self-destruction power of the magic weapon. Gu Qing, you are looking for death. Zhang Yang's cold voice came from the palace. Although the self-destruction of the magic weapon did not hurt him, he was really embarrassed. What made him even more angry was that Gu Qing was actually holding Su Qingyue's waist. Su Qingyue Yuanin is related to his path to success, and his hatred will never end if he blocks his path. At this moment, Zhang Yang was completely murderous towards Gu Qing. Thinking of this, Zhang Yang continued to speak, his voice loud and cold. Gu Qing, you killed an inner disciple and a disciple of Hezhen for no reason. Do you know your guilt? Gu Qing has Ji Meng, who is at the peak of Saint Realm, as his backer, and he also has Saint Realm ancestor and Venerable Realm father. Gu Qing violated the rules of the Star Temple, and his death was in vain. I am guilty, Who dares to convict me? Gu Qing's words made Xuanhuan and all his followers look at each other in shock. Arrogant, too arrogant, he actually dared to say that no one in the Star Temple dared to convict him. They have never seen such a crazy person. Even if he is as noble as the Holy Sun, he would not dare to openly challenge the rules of the Star Temple. Only now did they realize that Gu Qing was not a Taoist idiot, but an arrogant and ignorant person. Good. Well said. The successor of my Star Temple should have such courage. Gu Qing's words fell into the ears of the ancestor, not as arrogance, but as contemptuous of everything, with invincible courage. Just kill the ants, just kill them. If Gu Qing was timid and used the sect rules to punish those disciples, they would feel unworthy of being on the stage. Okay, no one can save you today, Xuanhuan, said so. Xuanhuan was so angry that he laughed. Gu Qing went crazy and committed suicide, which was exactly what he wanted. Stepping out of the Kowloon chariot, the momentum exploded. The divine sun was above the head, and the blazing sunlight reflected the starry sky, like a young god king. Really? Gu Qing glanced at it. Very good, Xuanhuan's followers are here, then let's catch them all. The 9 mixed blood true dragons were also killed and used to smelt the demonic beast liquid. Boom! Gu Qing took a step forward, the starry sky roared, and infinite starlight gathered, as if all the stars in the sky were blessing him, like the ancestor of the stars. With one punch, it was like a huge ancient star appearing in the sky, with such majestic momentum that it crushed the entire void. Xuanhuan's expression changed. This is the Star Divine Fist, but the power was too great, making him feel in danger. Moreover, the fist intention is perfect and natural, just like a real ancient star. Obviously, this is a vision that only comes from natal supernatural powers. Gu Qing's physique is probably higher than he imagined. Cultivation of Taoism is not like taking the treasures of heaven and earth to improve. In other words, all his previous guesses were wrong. Many thoughts flashed through his mind. Xuanhuan looked solemn and put away his contempt. Broken star finger. The star-shattering finger gathers the power of the stars to point out the Arankar and break the stars with one finger. Boom. The ancient star was detonated, and a terrifying storm of destruction erupted in the void, sweeping and spreading. What's your physique? Xuanhuan asked with a solemn expression. He was at the peak of the 9th level of the void realm. Facing the first level of the void realm, he actually had to use 80% of his strength. How strong is Gu Qing's real strength? What kind of physique is it? The more Xuanhuan thought about it, the more his mentality collapsed. What happened to this world? First, there were a few true disciples who were not much weaker than him, making his position as the Holy Sun unworthy of his name. Later, he met Jiangyu, a pervert. Now I meet Gu Qing, who is even more perverted. Can he, the Holy Sun, still be invincible? You must know that he is the sun god body that will never be seen through the ages. Is he really just a beginner for a few years? Have no idea. Xuanhuan's followers were shocked beyond words. I thought it was a crushing game, but I never expected that a freak would be provoked. Broken star finger. Gu Qing was too lazy to answer his question and used his star finger with all his strength. Xuanhuan has something, and his fame is not in vain. Snort. Seeing this, Xuanhuan snorted coldly and held the sun knife. This is a royal weapon that imitates the divine weapon Sun God's sword. With the king's weapon in hand, he can exert the power of the king, and he can't kill Gu Qing if he doesn't believe it. Boom. The sun blade split the star-breaking finger and attacked Gu Qing with undiminished power. Destroy the 8 desolations. Gu Qing held the wheel of reincarnation. This artifact embryo was originally a yellow-grade magic weapon. Now, after years of sacrifice and refinement, it has become a top-grade heaven-grade magic weapon. Even because it is an artifact embryo, its power is not weaker than that of a king weapon. Boom. The wheel of reincarnation stirred the 8 directions of the void, as if it had fixed the time and space in all directions. The divine halberd was wrapped with unparalleled power, and all directions were like a mirror, showing a broken scene, and all directions were destroyed. When Xuanhuan was horrified and quickly sacrificed a replica of the sun god furnace, the sun cauldron was split and cracked at the same time. Xuanhuan spat out a mouthful of blood. The sun cauldron was his lifelong magic weapon. When the sun cauldron was damaged, he was naturally injured as well. Go. A group of followers, including the 9 true dragons at the peak of the Void Dao realm, rushed forward and protected Xuanhuan. If Xuanhuan died, then their followers would not have a good ending. So strong, Su Qingyue and Chuya were fascinated by the sight, their beautiful eyes sparkling. The Son of God, who had been invincible for more than a decade, was easily defeated by Qing. They could feel the oppression of death from watching the terrifying magical power from afar. There was a sense of powerlessness of an ant facing the might of heaven. What kind of magical power is this? Luoli looked solemn. The sun tripod was a top-level Qing weapon made by a sacred weapon master with divine iron. Even a king cannot be damaged in the slightest. With Zhang Yang's full strength, at least 90% of the power of the sun tripod can be exerted. It can be said that with the sun tripod in hand, Zhang Yang can challenge the king. However, it was split by Qing's halberd. The one he used was a heavenly magic weapon. Qing's strength was so terrifying that it was beyond common sense. It seemed that she could not rely on Zhang Yang. Luo Li's face was gloomy. If Qing didn't die, she couldn't be a saint. Good, well done. This halberd of his is made of the complete reincarnation Iron Mother. It is a divine weapon embryo. He is a man of great luck. Ancestor, do you know what magical power he used? It actually combines strength and Taoism, involving the law of space. This magical power is incredible. Ancestor, wake up. The old antiques lying in the coffin sent messages to the ancestor. Qing's magical power is too amazing, and that terrifying physical strength has exceeded the scope of the Zhoutian star god body, and the reincarnation Iron Mother. Qing has become a mystery in their hearts, and they are eager to uncover the mystery. The ancestor is dead, buried 10,000 meters underground. Burn paper if there is something, and don't miss it if there is nothing. Chapter 48 Yin Yang Wheel. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Back off. Zhang Yang's expression was cold without any emotion, and his whole body was like a heavenly sword. After fighting with Qing several times, he had to admit a fact that Qing was definitely a supreme divine body. The supreme divine body has seriously threatened his position. Today, he must take the opportunity to get rid of Qing. Yes. The hearts of the protectors were cold, knowing that Zhang Yang was angry and had murderous intentions. You must die today. Zhang Yang's figure flashed, and he transformed into 6 magical clones, holding a heavenly magic weapon, forming a 7-star sword formation. Just now, he was careless and did not pay enough attention to Qing. Now he will not give Qing a chance to breathe. Zhang Yang did not believe that the 7-star sword formation could not kill Qing. You know, this is a peerless great magical power that has been passed down for thousands of years. Each magical clone is the condensation of his Tao and law, containing all his strength, combined into a 7-star sword formation. The power is even more terrifying, even as strong as Jiangyu. He almost died under his 7-star sword formation. He can be invincible in the world and maintain his undefeated record to this day because of the 7-star sword formation. The 7-star sword formation is indeed amazing, but my 9-star fist is also not weak. Qing's figure flashed, and he split into 8 magical clones, which also condensed his Tao and Fa, and his magical powers became gods, as if he was a life form with God. In fact, Qing can condense more magical clones, just like the one thought of flowers blooming, dominating the world in the immortal heavenly art. Each petal contains the full force of the main body, and the power is shocking and the gods and ghosts. But against Zhang Yang, 8 magical powers are enough. After all, Zhang Yang is not a star god body, and the 7-star sword formation is just a magical power acquired through acquired cultivation, and its power is ultimately limited. Boom! Qing's fist rushed into the sky, bathing in the bright starlight, and every punch seemed to blow up the void. Zhang Yang's 7-star sword formation, millions of sword chi, were all wiped out by the fist. 9 figures merged into one, gathering the power of the 9 stars, and one punch broke the void. When Zhang Yang no longer had the confidence he had before, and there was a look of fear in his eyes, looking at the oncoming 9-star divine fist. Before the fist intention arrived, the overwhelming fist force had already pressed his back to bend, and the great fear of death spread in his heart. Zhang Yang had no time to think about it. and immediately sacrificed the sun cauldron to smash it again, at the same time, burning the blood. Essence, the sun sword in his hand was like a heavenly sword, emitting the blazing sun god fire, burning the void and twisting it. The sword intention was full of peerless sharpness, as if it could cut the void open with one knife. Boom. The sun cauldron was blown away by a punch for millions of miles, and the body of the cauldron was covered with cracks. The power of the 9-star divine fist was weakened by 2 points, and it was split open by the sun sword. Xuanhuan was hit by the fist and flew backwards. However, he had a protective golden armor, which was also a royal weapon, so he was not injured. What a pity. Gu Qing's mouth twitched, and he sighed inwardly. Xuanhuan had a lot of experience in fighting. If he had hesitated a little or reluctantly sacrificed the sun cauldron, he would definitely have been injured, but Xuanhuan would rather not have the sun cauldron, and he would fight him to the end, and his sword intent was unstoppable. This was the wisest decision. But then again, Xuanhuan had too many magic weapons, and he was armed to the teeth, so that Gu Qing couldn't even hit him. Ancestor. Ancestor, please wake up. How did our 7-star fist become a 9-star fist in his hands? Ancestor. Zhou Tian Xingqian divine body. Xuanhuan drank a drop of Xuanhuan divine water, and his injured soul immediately recovered as before, looking at Gu Qing with fear in his eyes, although he didn't know what Gu Qing's 9-star fist was, but since it is similar to the 7-star fist and is his innate magical power, Gu Qing is very likely to be the Zhoutian star god body. Only with the Zhoutian star god body can Gu Qing break through so quickly. Moreover, Gu Qing's physical strength is simply terrifying and unbelievable. Apart from the Zhoutian star god body, he can't think of any other physique that can bear such a terrifying power. With this thought, Zhang Yang's killing intention towards Gu Qing became stronger, because he knew very well how important the Zhoutian star god body was to the star temple. If Gu Qing didn't die, he would have nothing to do with the star temple in the future. Go to hell. Zhang Yang offered a treasure mirror, like a small sun, and the blazing sunlight seemed to melt the void. This is a sunglass, a supreme device made by imitating the sun god mirror, made of sun god gold and sun god fire, and is his strongest magic weapon. Zhang Yang once used the sunglass to kill a king. He didn't believe that Gu Qing could survive under the sunglass alone. Gu Qing almost swore. Zhang Yang had too many magic weapons. If the fight continued, Gu Qing even doubted whether Zhang Yang would use the holy weapon. It can only be said that the second generation of immortals is so terrifying. Boom! But without time to think, Gu Qing blasted out the sun god fist. Under the illumination of the sunglasses, Gu Qing's sun god fist was wrapped in sunlight and its power doubled. But it only lasted for a breath before it was melted and disintegrated by the sunlight. However, this breath of time was enough for him to do a lot of things. With a thought, he moved the 3 women away. At the same time, he formed seals with both hands, and the yin and yang Dao rhyme emerged from his body. A wheel of yin and yang blended into a divine will appeared out of nowhere, resisting the sunlight. The yin and yang Dao rhyme flowed, engulfing all things in the world, and assimilated into the yin and yang domain. Huh! What kind of magical power is this? The yin-yang fist in our Taiyin Taiyang chaos record doesn't seem to be like this, right? Grandmaster, you are knowledgeable and must know the origin of this magical power, right? Can you come out and explain it to us? Don't shout. Grandmaster is a master of creation and Taoism. He is now comprehending the supreme way. How can he have the time to care about such trivial matters? Ha! The 3 women who were moved away showed a look of relief on their faces. The sunglasses were too scary. Even if they were hundreds of miles apart, even if they were not targeted, they were still powerless to resist the sunlight. They felt like their bodies were about to melt. Fortunately, Gu Qing acted quickly, otherwise they would have been melted into ashes by the sunlight if they were a second late. Not good. Senior brother is still inside. Just after taking a breath, Su Qingyue's face changed drastically and turned pale. Don't worry, how could Gu Qing get into trouble at his doorstep? Isn't there Ji Ning? Chu Yao held the little sister's hand and comforted her. She knew that Gu Qing was a Zhoutian star god body, and she also knew how important the Zhoutian star god body was to the star temple. It can be said that even if the saint of the star temple died, Gu Qing would be fine. Well, I was too worried. Hearing this, Su Qingyue's panicked heart was instantly calmed, but her eyes still couldn't stop worrying, looking at the starry sky. Sunlight, light of destruction. Luo Li murmured, her majestic phoenix eyes burning at the little sun in the starry sky, shaking with excitement. She knew what kind of life magic weapon she should refine. As long as it is refined, no matter you are a god or a demon, you will all die. P.S. Without further ado, if there are 20 urgings tomorrow, I will update 10,000 a day. Little Mengxin begs for good comments to urge updates. Chapter 49 Star Fighting Fist. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How is it possible? This is impossible. Seeing the yin and yang while trapping the sunglasses, Zhang Yang shook his head wildly and murmured in disbelief. His sunglasses are made from the sun's gold and sun's fire, and can emit sunlight that destroys all things. How could it be possible to be trapped by the magical power of a mere void Dao realm? What's impossible? Yin and yang are the supreme avenue, the mother of all things. No matter how strong your sun is, it is still within the laws of yin and yang. Gu Qing's words are definitely not nonsense. Although the yin and yang wheel is still very weak, it also contains the original law of yin and yang, which can wipe out all things in the world. Yeah. It seems that not only I want to kill you, but you also want to kill me. Zhang Yang understood, Gu Qing's fight was definitely not as simple as a fight with him, but a battle of life and death. Good. You are all going to die. Gu Qing took a step forward, and the starry sky roared, gathering infinite starlight. The stars appeared in the sky every week, the sky and the earth changed in an instant, and the dead starry sky was like a bright mini-universe. Thousands of stars surround Gu Qing, who is like the god of stars and the god of the universe, wielding supreme power. Gu Qing made a fist seal with his hand and used the star-fighting god fist. The power of qi and blood came out of his body like a vast ocean. Thousands of stars erupted into bright starlight, and Dao patterns circulated. Each star seemed to come alive, like a star, but also like the incarnation of Gu Qing, gathering the power of thousands of stars into one body. Hiss. Zhang Yang's pupils shrank suddenly. The fist seal was not completed, but the overwhelming force of the fist was already suppressing him and he could not raise his head. The vast power came and bent his back. This punch is invincible. He looked at Gu Qing intently. His figure was like a god or a demon, his blood was overwhelming, surrounded by thousands of stars, and his divine power was immeasurable. Zhang Yang shook his head slowly, with a look of despair in his eyes. It's over. My life is at an end. Zhang Yang's followers showed despair in their eyes. Gu Qing's punch was too terrifying. They wanted to escape, but they couldn't. Gu Qing's fist has locked the void in this area, making it difficult for them to even move. How so? How could there be such a monster in the world? I thought this was a smooth game, and Zhang Yang would be able to crush Gu Qing with his strength. They have already begun to imagine that Zhang Yang will severely injure Gu Qing, get Su Qingyue, and advance all the way, and they can also follow suit, and perhaps borrow Su Qingyue's lunar body to transform their own physiques. No matter how hard it is, you can still get the peerless beauty Chuyao, but things turned out to be that his side was crushed by Gu Qing. Zhang Yang used all his magic weapons to kill the king, but he was still no match for Gu Qing. They are all the proud sons of heaven, but they don't even have the strength to fight back. Although the blood of the 9 true dragons is not pure, they are still true dragons. They have the qualifications of the venerable realm, their bodies are comparable to priceless magic weapons, and their energy and blood are unparalleled. A single true dragon, placed in the outside world, can sweep across the same level. However, under Gu Qing's punch, he was as weak as an ant. They simply couldn't imagine what kind of monster Gu Qing was. Why are the power of qi and blood and the magic of divine passages so terrifying? Burn the essence and blood, let's go together. Zhang Yang roared angrily, burning his energy and spirit, and transformed into 7 supernatural clones, each holding a heaven-level magic weapon, the 7-star sword. This is also a magic weapon that imitates the 7-star divine sword. The 7-star sword formation composed of 7 swords is powerful enough to compete with the Qing realm. Zhang Yang held the sun knife in his hand and crazily poured his energy and spirit into it. His whole body was like a heavenly sword, exuding a shocking sword intent. His appearance is aging rapidly, his hair is gray and his face is withered. Hold head high. The 9 true dragons looked up to the sky and roared, burning their essence and blood, and every dragon's scale was glowing. Zhang Yang's followers also burned their essence and blood, changing from heroic young men to decrepit old men at a speed visible to the naked eye. They seemed not to care about damaging the foundation. If they couldn't take Gu Qing's punch, they would all die. The colorful magic weapons blasted towards Gu Qing. Boom. The star-fighting divine fist gathers the power of thousands of stars, like the stars in the universe collapsing, instantly smashing the magic weapon into pieces. The 9 true dragons shattered into a bloody mist that filled the sky. Several followers were also shattered by the Bang Bang fist seal. Zhang Yang's protective golden armor burst out with unparalleled golden light, like a god. But it still couldn't withstand the Star Doshan fist. The sun knife and golden armor were shattered. The divine body was torn apart, and he vomited blood and flew out. Call. Gu Qing took a long breath and turned slightly pale. Executing the star-fighting god fist puts a huge load on him. After all, to incarnate into thousands of stars is equivalent to differentiating thousands of magical powers that are equivalent to the original body. Fortunately, he has been using treasure liquid to evolve his body. Otherwise he would never be able to display such magical powers that are so shocking that ghosts and gods will cry. What a pity. Seeing Zhang Yang disappear, Gu Qing knew that someone from the Venerable Realm had taken action to take Zhang Yang away. Also, Zhang Yang was able to block his Star Doshan fist because this Venerable Realm secretly controlled the golden armor. Otherwise, 10 Zhang Yang should have been killed by him. Ji Ning, leave the sunglasses. Gu Qing said anxiously when he saw the sunglasses erupting like an unparalleled sun, instantly dispersing the yin and yang wheels. Whether Zhang Yang dies or not is not very important, he must get this supreme weapon. Boom. The giant palm that had been holding the sky suddenly appeared and grabbed the sunglasses. Gu Qing breathed a sigh of relief, then put away the blood mist in the sky and put it into the golden gourd for smelting. This is the essence of the Void Dao realm, and it cannot be wasted. Brother, Su Qingwei was like the 9 heavens mysterious lady, with fluttering sleeves, and flew into Gu Qing's arms. Gu Qing held her slender waist with one hand and rubbed her little head, silently speaking louder than words. Monster. Qiao looked at Gu Qing with complicated eyes. Before, she only thought that Gu Qing was extremely powerful and had a sincere heart to seek the Tao. He was gentle as jade and broad-minded. Until today, the impression of Gu Qing in her heart was completely overturned. This is a freak, a lawless and ruthless person. Luo Li took a deep look at Gu Qing, said, and flew away. Let's go. Gu Qing turned on the system. I had turned off the system before, and I didn't hear the broadcast sound, and I didn't know what the system would reward this time. It shouldn't be a precious item. After all, the system rewards for killing enemies at the same level are very poor. It doesn't help him now. Thinking about it, Gu Qing glanced at it and his eyes lit up. Congratulations to the host for killing 9 real dragons with 1 punch and, rewards, the king weapon Tiangang 9 swords, divine power, and Tiangang sword art. Congratulations to the host for killing. The rewards of 3 Xiandan realms and 1 Shudao realm can be ignored. Gu Qing asked. Can you make do with the rewards? Yes, provided that the host kills the enemies at the same time in an instant. Hey, what do you think of this punch? The body turned into thousands of stars, gathered in one body. It's really wonderful. I really can't think of any words to describe such an amazing magical power. Yes, with this magical power, you can be invincible in the world, break all the laws in the world, and be unmatched. His 9-star fist is just the tip of the iceberg of this magical power. Ancestor, as everyone knows, the 7-star fist and star god fist, the star-shattering finger, the star-picking hand and other magical powers are all peerless magical powers nurtured by the Zhoutian star god body. So what should this magical power nurtured by his Zhoutian star god body be called? Ancestor. Ancestor, if I remember correctly, you said that he has evolved into a taboo physique, so does his magical power belong to the taboo type of magical power? Ancestor, you are knowledgeable, can you explain to us, what is the difference between the taboo magical power and the magical power I know? Good, very good. Oh God, please send some thunder to kill these rebellious sons. Chapter 50. The world is still undecided, you and I are both cattle and horses. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Father, why didn't you take the opportunity to kill him? Xuanhuan was covered in blood. He looked at Zhang Jingxiong and roared ferociously, if Qing is not dead, then he is not the most outstanding talent in the Star Temple. In fact, as long as Qing is willing, he can take the position of the Holy Sun at any time. If Qing dies, it will be the dead Zhou Tianxingchen divine body. With his Zhang family's status in the Star Temple, he will definitely be fine. Then he is still the aloof Holy Sun. Even if he gets Su Qingyue, he is expected to aspire to the Great Road, and his future is bright. Idiot! Zhang Jingxiong scolded angrily, his expression indifferent, and the terrifying supreme power filled the hall. Don't say this again, otherwise, even if you are my son, I will kill you. Why? Zhang Yang's eyes widened angrily. Zhang Jingxiong did not answer, but stared at Zhang Yang coldly. After a while, he said coldly, the ancestor has fallen. Hearing this, Zhang Yang felt like he was struck by 5 thunders. He was silent for a long time and smiled miserably. He got it. I know why Zhang Jingxiong didn't save him earlier, but waited for Qing's punch before saving him, and he didn't even dare to fart. His ancestor, Zhang Chang, was in the 3rd level of the Saint Realm. He never retreated or went out. He stayed in the Star Temple and was fine. How could he suddenly fall? Unless he was killed by the ancestor of the Star Temple. This is indeed the case. Just when Qing revealed his divine body of Zhudiangxingchen, Zhang Chang wanted to kill Qing on the grounds that Qing killed his disciples for no reason. However, as soon as the murderous intention aroused, he was obliterated by indescribable power. A generation of saints, who claimed to have the same lifespan as heaven and earth, and who were all powerful in patrolling heaven and earth, died quietly. Qing is the strongest among all the Zhou Tianqing gods in the past. He is destined to have a bright future. We are not the same as him. If you see him in the future, just avoid him. And Su Qingyue, she is not someone you can covet. Give up, otherwise, my Zhang family will perish. Zhang Jingxiong looked lonely, as if he had aged dozens of years for a moment. I thought that the Zhang family was extremely powerful in the Star Temple. When Zhang Yang grew up, their Zhang family would only become more powerful. He even holds the authority of the Star Temple. However, the reality slapped him hard. No matter how many disciples he has, no matter how high his control position is, they are just cattle and horses used by the Star Temple to serve as coolies. Even the saints, who had the foundation to suppress the religion, were nothing more than ants in the eyes of those ancestors, who could be easily wiped out. The Star Temple inherits the avenue of stars, and what it values is those who share the same path, and Qing is the Zhou Tianqing divine body. Whoever touches the Zhou Tianqing divine body will die. Zhang Chang could threaten Qing, so he died. The father and son could not threaten Qing, so they were still alive, but he could be killed by Qing at any time. At the thought of this, Zhang Jingxiong couldn't help but feel despair in his heart and felt chills all over his body. I understand, father. Zhang Yang's eyes were unwilling, and his face was twisted with pain. He was really unwilling. Since he was born, he has been working hard and enduring things that ordinary people cannot endure, taking medicinal baths, practicing crazily, fighting people, fighting monsters and beasts. The pace of progress never stops. Seeing that the bright road is right in front of us, we have to give up, and all our efforts are in vain. 3 days flew by. Everything was calm in the Star Temple, and no one except the person involved knew that he had lost to Qing. Zhang Yang has recovered from his injury. He looked up at the boundless starry sky with a lonely expression, no longer as high-spirited as before. Phew. A message flew in. Zhang Yang glanced at it with a sullen expression. Jiang Yu. How dare you ask me to fight to the death? Okay. You managed to escape last time, but I will kill you this time. Zhang Yang rushed out of the cave angrily, first went to the treasure house to get a magic weapon, and after refining it, he went straight to the starry sky. In the dead starry sky, many people have gathered, and the most eye-catching one is undoubtedly a figure in white, with his hands behind his back. Jiang Yu looked indifferent and said calmly, You are finally here. I thought you were going to be a coward and didn't dare to come out to challenge. Oh. If you hadn't had a ghost of your old ghost last time, do you think you could still stand and talk to me? How can you be brave when you have a defeated general? Zhang Yang sarcastically said. Jiang Yu's face turned ugly when he heard this. In the last battle, outsiders only knew that there was no winner between them, but he himself knew very well that he had lost. At the critical moment, the split soul of the ancestor who stayed in Yupari broke Zhang Yang's 7-star sword formation and saved his life. However, today is different from the past. He also learned the ancient magical power of the 7-star sword formation, and his strength went further, breaking through to the 7th level of the virtual realm. A temporary failure is nothing. Today I will avenge my shame. Jiang Yu put his hands behind his back and spoke coldly. Just you? Zhang Yang smiled disdainfully. He admitted that Jiang Yu was strong, but he was not weak at all. If he can defeat Jiang Yu once, he can defeat him a second time. You talk a lot of nonsense. Jiang Yu said. What do you mean he talks a lot of nonsense? If you hadn't been chattering all the time, would he have spoken to you? Zhang Yang laughed angrily and immediately took out the sun knife. It is also a high-imitation magic weapon, a royal weapon. Boom. The battle between the two sides reached a fever pitch, when Jiang Yu suddenly transformed into 6 magical clones, each holding a heaven-level magic weapon. 7-star sword formation. Zhang Yang's face was extremely ugly. He had few contribution points left, so he could only exchange for a king weapon, the Sun Blade. Jiang Yu was not much weaker than him. If he didn't have the 7-star sword, even if he also used the 7-star sword formation, he would not be his opponent, as he expected. A moment later, Zhang Yang was covered in blood and flesh, unable to resist the 7-star sword formation. Where is your 7-star sword? Jiang Yu asked in surprise. Zhang Yang didn't have the 7-star sword, not even the sun cauldron and the protective golden armor. This was really too weird. Zhang Yang didn't answer, feeling sad. He didn't die at the hands of Qing, but at the hands of Jiang Yu, whom he despised the most. His decades of hard work were all gone at this moment. This was simply a great irony. Zhang Yang glanced at the onlookers, listened to their discussions, and suddenly felt discouraged. Since he was destined to not be able to reach the top, it would be a good destination to die brilliantly in battle instead of living in disgrace. Zhang Yang, if you don't use the 7-star sword formation again, I'm afraid you won't be able to use it in this life. Jiang Yu stood in the void, with dazzling divine light surging around him, and his aura was sacred and ethereal, as if he had merged with the void. Ha ha ha. Jiang Yu, do you think you won? Ridiculous. The world is not settled, you and I are both cattle and horses. Ha ha ha. Zhang Yang laughed crazily, and tears fell as he laughed, looking back on his life. It was really pathetic. The honor he had worked hard for decades was replaced in an instant. He didn't even dare to express his feelings for the peerless goddess he missed day and night. What a saint, what invincible in the world. He was just a poor worm of this era. This era belongs to the monster Qing. No one can block a punch from this monster. He can't do it, and Jiang Yu can't do it either, and Jiang Yu will sooner or later follow in his footsteps, because Jiang Yu is also Su Qingyue's lick dog, and even better at licking dogs than him. With this thought in mind, Zhang Yang took a deep breath, burning his spirit and energy like crazy, burning the origin of the sun. Even if he died, he would die with the honor he had in his life. He poured all his life's learning into this knife. Zhang Yang, are you crazy? Jiang Yu changed drastically. The onlookers also looked at Zhang Yang in astonishment. Although this was a life-and-death battle, after all, Zhang Yang was the son of God, and he had the Zhang family as his backer. As long as he was willing to admit defeat, Jiang Yu would not dare to kill Zhang Yang. At most, he would lose the position of son of God. In the dog-licking label, there is another label of being greedy for life and afraid of death. Go to hell, cow and horse. Zhang Yang integrated everything in his life into the sun blade, and burst out a stunning and brilliant knife, enough to kill the king realm. Dang. He split Jiang Yu's Wanqi magic weapon in half, and was about to kill Jiang Yu. Suddenly, a large tripod appeared above Jiang Yu's head, and thousands of Xuanhuan mother qi fell, directly shattering Zhang Yang's sun blade. Supreme weapon. No, this is the embryo of the artifact. Everyone looked at the Xuanhuan mother qi ding with fiery eyes, and their breathing became heavy. Jiang Yu put away the Xuanhuan mother qi ding and frowned slightly. I can't figure out what Zhang Yang meant by the world is not yet determined, you and I are both cows and horses. Shouldn't it be the world is not yet determined, you and I are both dark horses? It's really inexplicable. Shaking his head, Jiang Yu raised a cynical smile at the corner of his mouth. The position of the holy son of the Star Temple is his, the destiny of this life belongs to him. Let the Tianjiao monsters of the heavens and the worlds live under his shadow. Jiang Yu, Jiang family. On the other side, Zhang Jingxiong was trembling with anger after receiving the news of Zhang Yang's death, and his murderous intent soared to the sky. Although he was harsh on Zhang Yang, he devoted his life to him. For Zhang Yang, he even broke into the Jedi to find the origin of Taiyin, but now, his son Zhang Yang is dead. Don't worry, my son. I will definitely avenge you and make sure that no one in the Jiang family is left alive.